episode of Uneducated MMA. I'm your host with the most, Wanderbread. And as always, I'm joined by my fellow co-hosts here. We got REG. Now, we have to come up with a new nickname for you, sir. I feel like every time you're on 806, they get the heavyweight champion. I understand this is an MMA show, but I feel like we need something else. So we'll figure it out. As a team, a unit, we'll figure it out.
It'll come organically.
Somewhere in the conversation, we'll get it. Oh, hold on. I just gotta.
One day.
BMF.
Yeah.
Right.
Baddest motherfucker.
We'll give you that. The BMF REG. The BMF REG. I like it. Write that down.
Yeah. Facts.
That shit's hard.
Baddest motherfucker on the planet.
All right, bet. There we go. And I just got a crazy notification that this Justin also pulled into the studio. All that other fun stuff. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have a fun show tonight, but obviously, we're not going to just do this show by ourselves. Now, like I've mentioned several times before, I'm one that just likes to reach out and have people come on the show that just always wants to talk MMA. Now, if you're a true fan and you go way back to one of the first episodes, granted, this is episode 12, but you know we don't record every week. You feel me? It's been a little bit. Right. I got a little message from a guy who was like, hey, I kind of want to be on the episode again. And I was like, you know what? 110%. My boy Matty's coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome back, bro. Welcome back. I don't know if you remember the last time you were here. We were in that cramped little studio over there.
I remember.
We were just sitting there, 3 chairs next to each other. Having a grand old time, though. Talking fights, you could be anywhere, honestly.
That's true.
Yeah, right.
It's like the water cooler talk, you feel me? At work, everybody just pulls up. You'd be standing by a wall. And you're like, you know that's the wall that people talk at?
Smoke break.
Yeah.
You're in the alleyway.
Yo, saw that fight?
Yeah.
You see them fights of it.
I feel like it's like the stoop kid. Everybody finds the stoop.
806.
So it doesn't matter where you're at. You just always talk that talk.
And you find that one kid be like, what fight?
Get out of here.
Like, man.
Right.
Man.
But this is going to be a great episode. I've got some words that I got to eat on this one. I'm not going to lie to you. I got some pretty big words. So, obviously, we had a pretty big pay-per-view previously that we're going to talk about. I usually go with, like, doing a breakdown of the upcoming card. But when something such as big as UFC 309 and John Jones just handling Stipe Miocic happens, we got to go over UFC 309. Not the little dance.
The little
He
dance,
did that
bro.
little chump.
The little dance, bro.
Fucking golf.
It was so good, bro. Like you can't deny it at this point, man. Greatest of all time, like multiple weight division champion.
Motherfucking elbows. He's fucking elbow champion
Kept
of the
his
world.
speed from light heavyweight.
That was the crazy
Crazy.
part. Well, you know what? He did the good thing about the what was it? 2 years of like just working out, the grinding, just getting there. So
Coming
it
up
makes
to the
sense.
weight naturally.
Yeah, right. Started like adapting to like being comfortable in this heavyweight, in the heavyweight division.
Because also with heavyweight, that's 225 to 265. He could have just been like, you know what? I'm just gonna be a fat piece of shit and just eat and just come in. Because I'm not gonna lie to you, a lot of these heavyweights are very unathletic.
Yeah, exactly.
With the skill he has, he could be unfit, and I think John Jones would handle like 90% of the heavyweight division personally.
Fight IQ.
Oh,
Crazy.
amazing.
Crazy
Well
after
experienced too. Like he did lose some weight too coming into this fight compared to the fight against Sargon.
Yeah. He did look a little bit more like in shape with this one. Like he was like more focused on this. Oh, I mean, this is the one.
The other one was just like, I just gained mad weight. I'm back. I'm in the heavyweight division. Let's fight. Now it's like, all right, let me
Tone it up a bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, last episode, that's what I brought up where I was saying that like I don't know how he's gonna look. We had 60 seconds of John Jones coming in and just murdering Sargon, and he looked a little like weird on the feet. But this fight, he really showed that
His toe was broken.
I know. It was weird that they won't let him fight if he has that thing bandaged. Did he have a bandage on this one? I didn't notice.
No, I didn't think so. I didn't see it.
I didn't notice it.
I wonder if he just like played through the pain because that's. I don't know if you saw the photos of him without the bandages. That toe goes like this way.
That's like LeBron James' feet. Have you seen LeBron James' feet?
Yo, but Hooper's feet be crazy because they always jab stepping.
Yeah.
After a while,
just straight breaking their
that
toes.
shit just fucking becomes like a fucking.
a hoof.
Yeah.
You got that curve on it. You're just like walking around.
And your
just, like,
pinky toe goes over the other toe.
It's like it's hard to sell me on them shoes.
I remember playing football and I had some like cleats that would like after a while I felt like my feet were like starting to form to them and I didn't like it. I had to like size
I
up.
definitely got basketball feet for sure.
No, it's athlete's foot.
It's athlete's foot. God.
It's the same difference.
It's the same difference. They smell fun. You know, like I check them every day. I got the talcum powder. You feel me? I got a regimen. Don't hate. Don't hate.
Well, I know it's been the talk of the town though, but Jones, he has to fight. You know who?
Tom Aspinall.
That's it, bro.
Thomas.
That's it.
I had to check you to see where you were going with that one.
He has to, bro.
Listen,
Even though he wants to fight, Pereira, but nah, bro.
Yeah.
He has to
So,
fight Aspinall.
I've been seeing this in like a couple of different podcasts. People have these takes, and like obviously there are people out there. This is uneducated MMA. There are people out there that know more than me, but do you think he's just negotiating publicly? That seems to be the hot take. Or not really the
It
hot
could
take,
be.
but-
It could be like his way to.
Well,
he's like up the bag.
I don't want to fight no Tom. Where's Alex? Let me get that bag. But then Tom, makes more of a case for people to be like, whoa,
Yeah.
what about Tom?
Yeah.
And then
Or
he's
do you think he wants to like genuinely go down weight class?
no. I think he would probably make Alex move
Or
up
go up?
if I had to guess.
Yeah.
He wants to go up.
I mean, think about it. You take so much time to build up, whereas like Alex was just like, no, just walk around at light heavyweight. So like for him, it wasn't no deal. So for him to move up in weight, I would feel like makes more sense than John to move back down.
Every time they talk about it, Alex doesn't want to go up.
Yeah, both guys are deadly, but if you had to choose like who to fight,
You would go with John because it would be the same idea.
no, like in John Jones' position to fight
Oh,
Alex
like
Pereira
who you would pick?
or Tom Aspinall.
So
like,
here's the thing: is you would definitely pick Alex because A, I think it's an easier fight, and B, the payday as of right now that me and you are speaking is
Yeah.
bigger.
Yeah,
as
exactly.
of right now that we're speaking. Obviously, let this episode come out in a week. We'll see how it goes. But
Alex Pereira, he was saying that like, well, John Jones was saying that he wants like his opponents to be like legacy ones.
yeah.
Yeah.
Ones that really not. He claims Tom Aspinall was just an up and comer kind of thing. Like,
But you can't throw hate on his record, bro.
no. We also haven't seen Tom Aspinall go the distance either.
yeah,
then
but
but then
that
again,
kind of
it's like-
speaks to him. Like, what do you want him to do? Go light
I
on
know,
these
I
guys?
know.
Like, even like the one that was the scariest one was him versus
Popovich.
Pavlovich, yeah, Sergey Pavlovich for the title because that one was one where we thought we obviously knew it was going to go end quickly. We thought he was going to get messed up, and he managed to finesse that at 12 days off the couch. So I don't know, man. Like as much as it's like the same issue I had with John Jones coming back to heavyweight, where it wasn't enough time for me to see the holes in the game, and it also wasn't enough time for me to see how good he was. Obviously, you get the finish, but like. I guess with Jones is a little different because he got the takedown and subbed him in that weird like front neck choke thing. But
It's also a
with
problem.
Tom, he's just knocking these dudes out. You don't let them get to
There's
round
not
two.
much tape on
Yeah.
him. Like,
Exactly. That's exactly
He
what
said that as a threat to John. He was like, "Yo, I can study you all day. You've been at this game for a while, bud.
Yeah.
You
Yeah, you
got
can't
nothing
study
on
me."
You got 4 minutes total, maybe on me.
I think
That's
John Jones
crazy.
is good
Yeah.
enough to
That's a threat.
adapt to
crazy.
somebody like him.
You're gonna have to send someone to go in his gym. Like
How else?
else?
A spy?
Yeah,
Gotta
like,
get the spy.
Spygate.
Get the,
fucking-
get the security cam footage or something.
real.
I mean, at this point, you got it because if you don't know how he's going to come at you, you don't know. And then with Tom, he's also a well-rounded fighter, as we've been able to see.
Yeah.
He has great takedown defense. So, John, there
Yep.
goes that. Maybe. I think it's going to be like an accumulation of things. So, if anything, I see this one going – this one's probably going to be Tom's longest fight. And I don't know who wins it. I'm going to be
John
honest
Jones
with you.
kicks be crazy, man.
They do, but
Yeah.
Tom is also super athletic, man.
Yeah.
Let's not lie. He's one of the fastest moving heavyweights. For me, Tom versus John Jones is a much more intense and intriguing fight than John versus Alex because I think we all kind of assume how Alex is gonna go. They're gonna stand, he's gonna get taken down, and he's gonna get finished right on the ground immediately. As good as Alex is, he hasn't really had to fight anybody that's been like a crazy wrestler to test him like that.
Yeah.
Ankalaev has been the only one that people have been like, oh, maybe. But even then with Ankalaev, he in his last couple fights, I feel like has been trying to prove that he's more of a striker than he is a grappler just so he can show that he can hang with Alex. But I'm more of the camp that you need to just win. Do as much as it's not exciting, like Marab, for example,
Right.
he still wins.
Still wins.
People don't really necessarily care to tune into his fights because of the way he wins. He's just going to wrestle you for 25 minutes, get the decision victory in the bag. Same thing with like a Bilal Muhammad, but
I wanna
read the
see-
stats, bro.
If you're gonna wrestle him, I'm trying to see some ground and pound.
No, and I totally get that. You want to see more of that, like Khabib, like get on you, maul you like a bear, fight you. But
let's
like,
talk now.
Let's talk now. Let's talk
Exactly.
now. Well, we'll talk about him later. But with that one, it's more so like I don't know, man. There's also the thing of like, yo, get up though. You know, like as boring as it is, it's like but get up. That's the whole idea of the
You a
sport.
man,
like,
right?
Yeah.
Fight me. Throw them hands.
It's like any other sport, bro. You got to get through the defense. Whatever it is, you got to figure it out. You got to score, don't you? So you gotta get mad because it's like watching a blowout in any other sport. You feel me? Like are you gonna really be upset by the other team for not like they're trying but they're just not good enough?
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like get better. For me, at least, that's how I see it. So when it comes to him fighting Alex, I just feel like it's gonna be too quick. Like, well, him versus Tom, I see Tom presenting too many issues. The man's been training jiu-jitsu since he was a kid. His dad is like a jiu-jitsu artist,
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know. But That one is definitely going to be a much more intriguing
That's
fight
gonna
for
be
me for
exciting
sure.
for sure.
And now, well, Dana White also said that like winner of Stipe and John has to fight Tom. So
Yeah, he did.
Makes sense.
hopefully
though.
he keeps to that
It does make
word.
sense.
I've
Yeah.
heard they're in talks. They're in negotiations.
Well, that was the thing is that Jones, I saw earlier today, he said that he will be fighting in 2025. That's a negotiation that's going on. And Tom said something similar, so you can piece them together. You're like,
Now
we'll
he's
see.
officially the heavyweight champion now.
So then, what would the belt
No,
be?
because that's the thing is that Jones has technically always been the heavyweight champion.
Okay.
He
Yeah.
beat Cyril Gane for it because it was a vacated title after
Yeah.
Francis left. He beat Cyril Gane for it, and then he defended it now against Stipe. But then because it was such a long period in between that time, Tom ended up fighting and got the belt. So then now he's an interim champion. So that's why.
so-
If we're going by rules, and this is the issue we get into a lot when we talk about this UFC stuff,
Yeah.
are we talking sport or are we talking entertainment? If we're going sport, you have to fight Tom. He is the You literally cannot
Yeah.
have two titles
Yeah.
in the same weight class. That doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense.
Exactly.
Interim and
You,
the fucking.
you gotta fight the guy.
Exactly.
But if we want entertainment, like I said, if we're speaking right now, the money is Alex, and you can't lie. That's facts.
People also were saying that Jones was ducking Francis. That's why he was like out for a while.
So a lot of people were saying that, but then I've also heard rumors that like money was thrown at them like crazy, but it just still wasn't enough money.
Or Francis.
Not that it was no, because the thing is that I don't think that Jones has a fear of Francis, and I don't think that Francis has a fear of Jones. I think it's genuinely just you know how big this is. Like respect.
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
It's a respect thing.
It's like
you,
these-
you know how big this is. You know how much money we're gonna make for you, and
Yeah.
give me my piece. Like
Yeah.
you know what we're doing for you. Just do for me the way you would do it at anybody else. But
It's like how
They get
DC
played.
said too, because he doesn't even like John Jones. He was just like, let's make this clear. Like John Jones is not afraid of Tom.
yeah,
Like he's not afraid of nobody.
it's just the
Yeah.
easiest way to sell the story. Oh, he's scared of me. Oh,
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
bitch made. Oh,
Yeah. It's kind of crazy to think John Jones is scared of someone.
He's not though. You've seen the footage. You see the CCTV of him outside his house running around with the guns. and shit. He's not scared of anybody.
Bro, I love footage like that.
Yeah.
When I see John Jones just fucking, when he's doing that little shit with the
Running
gun.
in his chanclas with
Yeah.
his shirt off with a 12 gauge after somebody who tried to break into his house.
That is the
Christ.
most
Yo, they picked the
dumbest.
wrong
yeah,
house,
for real, bro. Dumbest thief, bro.
Bro.
I would have saw the news headline that he killed somebody who tried to break in his house. And I was like, that's on the thief, bro. Who told
Yeah.
him to break into John Jones' house, man?
Yeah.
Not me. I definitely think that it's an interesting scenario to be in because like either way, I think John Jones makes a lot of money. But this is
Or Stipe.
this is I know. He tried.
He tried.
He tried.
He tried.
But from what I gathered, it seems like he's more into the firefighter stuff right now, and he's also long in the tooth, man. He's been at it for a while. Like he's an older guy.
Yeah.
He's been in wars. You can't. That's why I said in the last episode. This is what I'm saying. I had to eat a couple of my words.
Yeah, this
I
is
went-
like the most nicest things we've ever said about
well,
Jones.
like this is my thing. Is like I've said this before.
He wanted him to be Connor
I-
so bad.
I know. I don't like hate John Jones. I just definitely think that like, and this is gonna be something that we're gonna talk about a little later when it comes to Connor as well. Is that
Yeah.
like the sport moved on.
Yeah,
In my opinion,
Yeah.
So when people are just nut hugging John Jones like crazy,
Dana
I'm like,
White.
I totally
Uncle
understand.
Dana.
You go back and you see I totally get it. But again, the sport is very big. What have you done for me lately?
Not true. And
What has he done for me
not many
lately?
people
Zero
like-
gone.
Even
And
th-
Stipe.
yeah, but that's my
That's
thing. Is,
lately.
well,
But before that,
before
yeah, I
that,
get
as
you.
our previous episode, it was
Yeah.
Cyril Gane a year and some change ago.
Yeah, it's still,
was
exactly.
before Cyril
He's
Gane?
not as active.
I feel like it had to be
Before Cyril
Dominic
Gane.
Reyes. Was that
Oh,
what
was
was
that
it?
the one light
What was his
Dominic Reyes was probably the only
'Cause-
person giving him like the most work.
Because
lot of people
Cyril
thought he
Gane was
won
his
that
first fight
Yeah.
in heavyweight. Let me see. We got
He just fell off after that.
yeah. He fought Cyril in 2023, and then before that he beat Dominic Reyes in 2022 or 2020. Sorry,
He is, damn.
that's crazy.
Well, maybe he probably was getting suspended and all that bullshit. Or whatever he wasn't.
No, but that was
Who's the most active UFC fighter? Who do you think we see like most often?
so.
Dama.
I would say it's either him or like for a while it was like a Kevin Holland was also
Yeah, Kevin
very
Holland.
active.
He
Because you
was,
got to think there's also a lot of these like fight night fighters that they have fought 3, 4, 5. Jessica, what's her name? Jessica Andrade. She has also fought a lot, but she has also like openly been like, I'm in divorce court. I'm getting like just ran through with money right now. I need to pay my bills.
Yeah.
So she was fighting, I think like 4 or 5 times and was losing pretty bad because of it. But there've been a couple of people that have like let me get this paycheck and just go. I will say this, like, it goes underappreciated, but the Israel Adesanyas, the champions that have defended their belt 2 to 3 times a year, really underappreciated. People people don't give him enough credit for that because now you look at other like champions once a year, maybe if that.
Or like Diego Lopez has fought a lot.
He has also fought a lot, but those are the up-and-coming hungry guys that want the title shot. Because you have to think about it. When you're in the position of you're on the chase and on the hunt, you need to do whatever you can to get that. If you decide, and we've seen it with a couple of fighters, they give you this, here's a last minute, we need you on a week notice to come and fill in for this guy, and you say no.
You might not get that.
You're not in the good graces no more. You didn't help me out. What have you done for me lately? Again, we're going back to that. What have you done for me lately? You ain't as hungry. So then I'm gonna give it to this guy over here, and now you're gonna see this guy eating and go. Even though he lost that, he's gonna go on and do all kinds of crazy stuff, and you're gonna sit here on the back burner. And now we're gonna give you a killer as the next guy.
When you get booked for 806 show and then you cancel last minute.
Exactly, precisely. You gonna get left. You're gonna get left.
And you already know what happens when you do that. They go ghost. You don't see them no more.
Oh, sir. I just finished The Wire. They're gonna end up in those boarded up houses. Shout out Marlo. Chris is snooping them. If you know, you know. But yeah, I think the world is right now John Jones' oyster. I think he has his pick. I think Tom is unfortunately in the situation where even though he's holding gold, he's chasing gold. If that makes any sense? Like, I don't know, man. If I was him, full WWE, I'm the champ. John Jones ain't nothing. He's scared of me. Just keep playing that, you know, and then the money will come. Like you mentioned earlier, they're already in talks about it, so it'll probably end up that's going to be the fight that's going to happen. We'll just wait and see what announcements come with it, because as of right now, it just makes more sense for him to fight Tom. To the weight issues between light heavyweight and heavyweight, which way are you going? Who gets more clout? Because right now, I would say John Jones is UFC's pride and joy. So he's going to get the favor. But
He's like their Jordan for some reason. Dana White is like, Dana White is David Stern, and he's just like, here's Jordan.
I mean, to be fair, like,
he is the GOAT, though.
You do want those like legendary superstars.
Yeah, you need that.
You want the what we're doing right now. Like, we're just fans. We're just fans talking about the sport. You want the fans to be able to discuss who's the greatest of all time, who's your top 4, who do you think is the number 1, who's your Mount Rushmore of GOATs,
who's the LeBron James, who's the up and comer.
These comparisons, you want to be able to have them. So in this situation where like the UFC is a marketing machine and they can make like superstars, you want a John Jones, you want a Conor McGregor, you want a Sugar Sean O'Malley, you want these guys that you can be like, here's the branding, we're going to sell this merch, and people are going to be able to see this face randomly in a poster and be like, oh, that's ba-ba-ba-ba, you know what I mean? Like, that's what you want to be able to do. So with John Jones, youngest champion in UFC history still, crazy undefeated streak for the most part, probably going to have that no contest overturned now that 12-6 elbows are allowed, even though people are like, that was the rules back then, these are the rules now.
I know, you shouldn't. I agree that you shouldn't overturn it.
I
understand. I understand if they do overturn it.
Marketing, though, to the Khabib effect of being like, he's undefeated, though. Like, not a blemish on his record.
But
you
also,
can remove
like,
that.
the same way like college football took away Reggie Bush's Heisman because of he got paid and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then they changed the rules. They gave him his Heisman back.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like similar to that. Where like,
honestly, too, nobody looks at that fight.
yeah.
Well, that's the
I
thing.
see him as undefeated.
Everyone looks at that fight and they're like,
That's why I say it's a marketing
Elbowed
thing,
his
because
face
it's
off.
literally just and now in the blue corner, mixed martial arts, and they're doing the announcements, and then you see John Jones, and then you see the record pop underneath. You're like, oh, who's that one?
right.
What's that one?
Right.
Like, then you
There's
go
a
look at,
mystique
and then you're
about
like, what's going on there? So you
But
want
if
to see
you
what happened. You're like,
imagine,
oh, there
like-
is somebody, but then you watch the fight. You're like, oh no, that guy got murdered. John
Yeah.
Jones just
Yeah.
John Jones just slipped up once, and then they were like, oh,
Yeah.
stop, but he
Imagine
murdered
a
him.
street fight like he didn't lose that fight. If it was
Yeah.
It wasn't. It
You
wasn't
know
even.
what I'm saying?
It wasn't even if it was a street fight. Under MMA rules, if we were to just give you a score up until then, he was still winning. It literally was the fact that he decided to do this instead of this. After, by the way, I watched the fight recently. After the 12th elbow down, that's when the ref was like, "All right, you chill." Like, that was another part of me that was also kind of crazy. That like that fight should have been stopped earlier, in my opinion. It should have been stopped earlier as well. So then it's also like, he could have had that as a W, but just the fact that it went a little longer, and then again, instead of going like this, he went like this. It
Should just put him aside. Hey, don't do that again.
yeah, exactly my point.
Should've, man.
But then you also have like to, I guess, segue into the next one, you have situations like Michael Chandler versus Charles Oliveira at UFC 309.
Real quick, last thing I want to say about Jones.
Oh, we'll go back to it. I just wanted to say the Chandler was throwing 47 punches to the back of the head towards Oliveira, and the ref was like, "You're good." Continue.
Yeah. He's like, keep on going. No. Last thing I was gonna say is, did you guys see him like shoot the basketball on his air balls?
Yeah. He goes to the camera, never put a basketball in my hands ever again.
Bro, when he tried to dunk it too.
Oh my
It's
goodness,
funny how
bro.
athletic certain people are, and they don't have the same coordination to do.
Yeah.
That's to me thing. That's a skill thing though. That's like how often. Like think about how often are people just like shooting around for fun. You build that muscle memory of being able to know like, oh, I release at this point, I aim it here. I jump
But I
here.
feel like you could put LeBron in the octagon. He'll be pretty nice.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing.
You think so?
I guess it's a different of scales because it's
Yeah,
like you
facts.
could put him, I would say, in like an amateur fight, but
I don't think he can fight.
no.
don't
But
think
that's
so?
the thing is like anybody
I think
that
his
has
hands
Well, he be flopping, so
that's what I'm saying. Anybody that has any sort of fight IQ.
yeah, he be
So
flopping. Yeah.
Even if it's an amateur that has a fight on the record, it's more than he has. Because have you ever heard? Listen, we've seen, I guess, LeBron grow up. I haven't heard of anything. It was like, yeah, back in the day, I used to get in all these scraps, but I haven't heard any story like that. Have you ever heard of a LeBron fight story? Even in the locker room? No, people get scared of him.
He has no experience.
yeah, he be
like,
arguing with everybody.
He gonna get kicked so hard in the ribs. You know he's gonna leave his body open.
I think you're like, I already calculated how this is gonna go. You're not wrong though, but that's what I'm saying. Like he ain't fight.
That basketball players are too. I don't know.
I mean, what was the dude that fought? It was like the first one to fall to Jake Paul.
But come on. He's like the
Basketball.
shortest dude in the NBA, bro.
Oh,
He
you
had
sent
no-
you sent him to go get killed. I don't know. That's
I think it's crazy that he went into that so unprepared.
Yeah, serious.
Like, wait, did you not like spar at least?
Yeah.
well, I think it's the same thing we were just talking about. Like, does he know how to fight? LeBron James, I think,
Nate
I
Robinson
think
straight
he
disappeared.
would go
after that.
in with more like, let me spar, let me get a couple rounds and see what I'm doing. But it is crazy to go
he
in
could
there.
definitely put the work in and figure it out.
Yeah, for sure. At least you would hope.
Herschel Walker made a successful transition. Ex-football player.
So
Older guy.
I feel
And
like
he was savage.
football is a little different because you go back to those like UFC 1 through 10s, you find out that a lot of those guys had like football experience, or even like Brock Lesnar was
I
a
was
professional
gonna say,
football
too,
player.
Lesnar,
That's
yeah.
I think that because of like I know basketball
itself.
is an aggressive sport, but with football like even
More
the,
savage, yeah.
like I don't know, man. I can tell you right now from like playing football like a good majority like you could. I feel like the way you learn how to tackle. Change one or two things. You just learn how to do a single and a double leg.
Right.
Yep.
You get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying?
And like
Yep.
basketball players are not used to getting hit or going to the ground like that. Hitting the ground so often.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there's a more like of a grit I feel like to like football than a basketball.
Like, even
I guess you the side elbow whatever you can learn when you're jumping up or whatever. Yeah, you can do that. But like for the most part, football is a much more like it's bred in aggression. Like that's like you're wrestling. You see, I feel like this. Football's a fall sport going into a winter sport. Shout out Salem High. You would see a lot more football players going into wrestling than you would anybody trying to like not play football and then decide to play basketball instead.
I was always like, I was a hooper all year round, so it was kind of just like, nah, I don't want to get hurt. I'm not playing football with y'all out here.
Yeah. And then you meet the football players, and they're all a bunch of like, we don't cares. Like, whatever happens to me, happens to me. I know myself included. I know plenty of people that played injured and was just like, play on.
Yeah.
And you're like, this is debilitating, but whatever. You're like, I'll deal with it. It's fine. But I don't know, man. I think it's weird. It's not. I feel like football and hockey are the two sports I would say like bring them over in MMA. Everybody else, I'm like, you can stay over there. Soccer and all that other stuff. I don't know, man.
Rugby too.
Rugby would also be a really good one. Rugby's a really
Similar
crazy. There's also those random ones you see on the internet at 3 a.m. when you're watching fight sports. You're like, this is
Volkanovski.
kind of a sport, I guess.
Well, when the Olympics was on,
Volkanovski is a rugby player.
oh, is
Rugby
he?
Yeah.
player.
He was, yeah.
Volkanovski used to be over 250. Can you believe that? That dude.
What is he, 5'6"?
That dude was he's like
fucking insane.
5'6", no neck, like 250,
Jacked.
just a athletic beast, and decided
Give
to
me the
cut
ball. That's it, bro.
decided
Run
to
that
cut
shit.
the weight and become the greatest in MMA at his time, I guess. Crazy.
Bro, when I was watching the Olympics, I was like, prior to that, I never watched rugby, but when I watched it, I was like, oh, this is a sport.
It's a great sport.
Yeah.
I just
Why
don't.
why don't we?
I need to watch a little bit more because I don't understand the. Like you pass it back and then you can run forward. Like I don't get that part, but I don't
Yeah, it's lateral.
It's a lot
Yeah.
of little shits.
But it's weird. I don't know. I got to look into it. This is gonna turn into a rugby show.
Yeah.
It's gonna go from uneducated MMA to uneducated rugby.
We just have different.
All right.
different fucking-
New addition to the 806 network, uneducated rugby.
All right, your boy won, bro.
Our boy won.
Oliveira, you called it.
So normally on this show, whenever we have a guest, I have the guest pick the card. But I was gonna put the Oliveira card as like a big right in the front, right in the middle. I know, but I wanted it to be its own pedestal of like, there he is, bro. Let me tell you, I knew it was going to happen. I didn't know how it was going to happen, but I knew Michael Chandler off this layoff right now was not about to go in there and beat Charles do Bronx.
It looks like
Oliveira.
the exact same fight as the first one.
Yeah. Still cheating, still dirty. At this point, listen, I don't think Michael Chandler has a title shot left in him at all. I don't even think he's going to get a BMF shot. He could because of the way he fights, but he's at this point, as too many people have accused him of cheating. I've seen too many things.
Yeah.
I put him in there to scrap with some crazy guys, and I'm cool with it. But other than that, like, Michael Chandler, you're over there, bro. You're over there. I'm sorry. Yeah. It's a shame to see. But now we get to see Oliveira. Well, maybe. We'll see him versus the winner of Saruki and Islam Makhachev. But the only thing with that is, I don't know if you guys have followed as many MMA pages as I have. After that win, some people were like, oh, Chandler – trash. Chandler, great fighter, but like not skilled enough. Maybe we give him a BMF title shot. Maybe if anybody, wait a minute. Chandler with the BMF. No. Who did he fight? Oliveira? How many finishes does he have? Yeah. He has the most submission wins.
Yep.
He's finished almost everybody he's fought. He's an insane amount of wins. What about him versus Max for the BMF title? That was how the conversation immediately changed when people were like, Chandler's washed. Let's give him the no. The BMF belt is no longer your washed scrapper. Go there. This is now you're a fan favorite elite fighter,
as it should be.
And
BMF.
now you get to fight for this that shows that you are loved by the fans. And I think that would also be a great fight that I'd be excited to see.
Real scrap.
I do want him to hold gold again and go against Islam or Saruki. I think he's a better chance against Saruki because he almost finished him. Remember, I don't know, he put him in a guillotine, pulled his pants down. It was a whole thing.
Yeah.
Can we talk about that for a second?
Yeah,
he really had this man in a full guillotine so bad that he had his legs like around the body, and he somehow managed to pull the pants down because Armin was trying to fight out of it so bad. So he's out there in his undies trying not to get choked out. Now imagine
That's a weird move.
He gets put to sleep, and now his just whole is out, just asleep in the middle of the octagon.
Just laying there, fucking
butt-ass
naked.
That is a photo that he would never live down. You
Yeah.
have to retire after that, but he didn't. He ended up winning.
If you don't know what prison's like.
Oh my god! No, literally.
There you go.
But now I want to see where they go with this because like he really could do that. I mean, Max did just get KO, so he's gonna be out for a little bit. You know, he's got like the 6 months.
Has
or
anyone checked on him?
I haven't seen nothing about
No,
it.
he's supposed to.
Topuria walking around with the BMF belt after that?
Yeah. I mean, you got to give the man praise where praise is due. Like I said, like as much as I have my biases on these fighters, and you're gonna hear it all the time. I'm gonna pick the guys that I root for and I play as in UFC 5. But at the end of the day, like we know skill is skill in this situation. Like Ilya was a threat. And he showed it, and he got him out of there. First one to ever do it, bro. So you got to give him respect.
Super sharp.
Now, does he earn that BMF belt? No.
He bought it. You don't earn it.
It's weird that it's like you have to beat the BMF to get the BMF, but just because you beat the BMF doesn't mean you're a BMF. You feel me?
Because that wasn't the belt on the line.
Exactly. The evidence of absence is not the absence of evidence.
He did.
Never been knocked out.
He did.
He did the thing that was really crazy. So there's
is
an argument
a BMF.
for it, but it wasn't on the line.
That's a bad.
He is a bad motherfucker, but
And his
belt was not on the line.
resume is pretty good too, especially because like he just did also knock out Volkanovski right before he knocked out Max Holloway.
Which
So
is
it's
a
like,
BMF
Two
move.
of the
It's a
best
BMF
featherweights ever.
Crazy.
I don't know who you give it to, man, but I definitely think that Max is still going to keep that title. And now he's officially said, "I'm just moving on to 155." I think he would have done it anyway. I think he would have gave it that one last go at 145, won it, maybe gave Ilya a rematch, and then he would have went back up. Because
I think it's a smart move.
I mean, you saw how comfortable he was against Justin Gaethje. The man was just moving and grooving a little too smooth. Like, he was just vibing.
Gaethje, what is him?
Well, he got knocked out. I don't know if you remember.
I know.
There's a photo I want to put up right here.
I know, but that was such
He
a
was
like.
sleeping. He should fight Chandler.
So
He gave us such a show that it's like he deserves like.
It's the same idea.
Yeah.
He's going to be out for probably like the 6 months, which by now is definitely already passed. But it's just, or no, he said he wanted to take a full year off. Himself, he said, I want to take a full year off. And then for him, it's going to be money fights. Who can he fight for money fights? So either, I mean, you could do another rematch with Max if you wanted to now that they're 155. But there's a couple of 155ers up there. You can give him a Chandler. You can give him, because people want to watch Michael Chandler fight. Let's not lie here. He's an exciting fighter to watch.
Yeah, he is.
Like,
it's just, Oliveira just outclassed him.
He just outclassed him. Yeah. Bro, he's posting, and I'm just like, bro, you are on something that you are somehow getting by USADA or whoever else is
100%,
drug
bro.
testing because, he posted a photo, I think it was like 2 days beforehand, and I was like, there's no way you get like that. Just eating chicken
Yeah.
breast and broccoli, bro. I don't care what you're telling me.
Yeah.
It's insane, bro.
Facts.
But he's somebody that I definitely think people are going to want to watch to fight, but I don't think he has any title shots. My thing is, like, he's also on, like, same idea. He's a little older now. He's had his career in Bellator beforehand. So, like, now he's new to, like, a UFC crowd, kind of. But I don't think people got to see the wars that he was in before, like, with, like, Patricio Pitbull and whatnot. So, now you see this Michael Chandler, a little older, trying to fight the best of the best in the world because that's what the UFC top 5 is or is supposed to be. And he's just not having a good time. And I don't know what he's going to do with it, but we'll figure it out.
I think you could put Dustin Poirier in that same category too.
You could.
So good, but he hasn't won gold yet.
Yeah. Well, he's another one that you have. Well, I mean, he's already fought for it, but like he's another one that's in the BMF title. So that's another one that people were thinking of is having either Max rematch Dustin or Dustin and Justin Gaethje 3, and then they both retire, or you throw Oliveira somewhere in that mix. Even though Oliveira, has Oliveira fought Justin Gaethje? He fought Justin.
He beat him.
Yeah, he beat him. He beat him.
He
So
Gaethje.
there we go. So you can't really. I feel like you can't really do those. A fresh matchup would be him versus Max, or you can do him versus Max, and then do Dustin versus Justin 3, and then they ride off into the sunset if they decide to. I don't know if Justin necessarily is done. Are you done?
Nah.
But Dustin definitely is. But we'll see what they decide to go.
I still don't think Dustin is either.
And according to him, he
got one
keeps
more
he
in
keeps
him.
posting uno mas and all that other stuff. So he really, I think
Said that the past 3
he's,
fights.
he's made his bread. Especially you got to remember those Conor fights got him
Yeah.
paid.
Yeah.
And now he has his businesses. He's got his charities. Why stay? You're a prize fighter.
And he's not
The
gonna
prize is money at the end of the
Yeah.
day. The belt comes with it, but the money is the thing. So
So it's like, why would Connor fight again?
that's what everybody in the grandmother's asking.
Now he just lost the motherfucking.
He lost everything. He lost it all.
everything. So he needs to.
We'll get into it now
Yeah,
instead
yeah.
of later. We'll get into it right now before we get into 310. All right, bet. So Conor McGregor, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately has been found guilty to, I guess it's a weird way to word it, but I guess it's like assault in a sexual assault case. Again, this is uneducated MMA, so this is not going to be lawyer talk. I'm going to be as brief as possible as I can and give you generalized statements. Everybody, please do their due diligence and look into it. Thank you. Anyway,
Everything I'm gonna say is alleged.
so no, he was found guilty by
No,
an
he
Irish
really
court.
was.
So this is pretty much
Allegedly.
so. This is the official headline. Conor McGregor found liable of assault in sexual assault case. So from what I've gathered and from what I've heard, it seems like there was an incident back in 2018 where he got into a hotel room. There was like a party. There was this girl that he was talking to beforehand. It's a whole case. There's a lot of weird. Honestly, when you look into it, you could go either which way. He's innocent. He's guilty. There is clearly some scumbaggy stuff happened in the middle.
For sure.
Yeah.
And it's also a civil case, so it wasn't like.
So that's the thing is you lost the criminal, but then you go again for the civil. So, but it's still you were found guilty of one or the other.
Like
It's
OJ.
It's OJ. It's OJ. He's OJ. He's the OJ of the
Yeah,
MMA
yeah.
world, unfortunately.
Like,
So now he
If
has
the
this.
MMA glove don't fit,
yeah.
must have quit.
We have this. What I'll call a fresh mark on his record. He's had several, but now this is another fresh one that's on there. Now, the reason I said this is because I had this conversation with somebody the other day. Now, I got to be a little careful with the way I talk because I know
I'm trying not to say anything.
YouTube, I know, YouTube and the algorithm and whatnot, but let's not act like there aren't other people in other sports that have done worse, that have been charged and arrested and went to jail for worse and have managed to come out on the other end and, I don't know, maybe recently fought on a Netflix card and lost. I don't know. But people forget. People forget. I will say this. Conor McGregor's done. Me personally, he's done. I don't think he's fighting. I don't think he's fighting
Cherry
again.
on top of the end.
Yeah.
What did I
He just
say
took another
earlier?
L.
The UFC moves on. They
Yeah.
build superstars. They create new ones. Listen, Conor, thank you. Appreciate it. Goodbye. Like, you're done, bro. You're done.
You're
Like,
cool as hell while it lasted.
it's the mix of this and all the losses and just all of it together and the lack of excitement to really watch you fight any of these guys. Like, like.
To be fair, I was enjoying Cocaine Connor.
But that's the thing is,
Yeah.
but that's the thing is you like Cocaine Connor on the internet. You don't want to. I don't know if you want to see Cocaine Connor get in the cage against Islam because you know already what's gonna happen. If I was to ask you, here, I'm gonna give you money to bet. Who are you betting on?
Not him.
Look at the top 5.
And
Look at the top 10.
I'm a big Conor fan. I was the one that's like still had hope. Like, nah, he still got it. Just because of the fact that his last fights were just like, he was still skilled. He still looked like he had it, but he broke his leg. And then there was another one where like he still had a chance. I don't know, but I always had that hope, like held on to hope. Like, nah, he still got this if he fought the right person.
Real quick.
But
Top 5, including well, I'll give you the champ because you already know Islam, but this is the top 5 underneath Islam. Armin Sarukian, Charles Oliveira, Justin Gaethje, Dustin Poirier, Max Holloway. Who's he beating? Go.
who's he beating?
Who's he beating out of the 5 that I just said?
Oh, he's not beating any of them.
I'll even just change it. I'll give you the next 5.
Okay.
So this is 6 through 10. Dan Hooker, Michael Chandler, Mateus Gamrot, Beneil Dariush, and Renato Moicano. The only person I would say he maybe has a chance against is Beneil Dariush, and that's because Beneil Dariush is almost 40.
Might be able to beat Michael Chandler.
I don't think so.
I think so.
I'm not gonna even beforehand. We talked about this openly in the podcast. It's recorded on the internet.
Yeah.
I've said if this happens, Michael Chandler's blowing him out of the water.
Yeah.
You saw how he was against Charles. Now I know MMA math doesn't make sense, but if Charles beat Michael the way that he did, what do we think is gonna happen to Chandler, or what do we think is gonna happen to Conor?
Because the thing is, like, well, if you look at like a lot of Conor shit, it's really he just sucks. Like, he gets submitted all the time. That's his flaw in his game.
But
like,
no, you say that. But who was his most recent losses to? I've been Dustin Poirier. How did Dustin Poirier beat him out?
Oh, yeah.
Boxing his ass up.
Yeah, he did.
That's
Smooth with the mitts, that boy. He
Gave
picks
him the
those shorts
hands.
up and it's over.
Yeah.
Give him the hands.
But he did break his leg, the other one.
But either way, he was still piecing him up. Again, like I know that like it's like a recency thing. You look at like how did it end, but then you look at the scorecard. He was doing his work. He was piecing. He's moving faster than him. He's able to recover quicker in between rounds. And it's the same thing with it. And Dustin Poirier is somebody that we were just talking about. Oh, he's almost out of here. He's retiring. He can't beat the best. He can't do it. We saw him go up against Islam. Got that leg spun around, choked from behind, the whole 9. Like
That was a slick move.
Conor's
Who
getting
was he
killed.
trying to fight? Who was he like publicly saying that he was going to fight against?
Who, Conor?
Was it Dan
Everybody.
Hooker?
Yeah,
name
he's
who
been-
name who
I
just
think he
recently.
did.
I believe I know who Connor's fighting next,
Who is it?
and it's the money fight.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say a lawyer.
Ireland's legal like entire government. Like what are you talking?
It's Jake Paul. Jake Paul's
Paul.
fighting Conor McGregor on
Oh.
Netflix for a lot of money.
Here's the issue.
could
with
do that.
Here's,
Not no more.
here's the
Yeah.
issue with that. Here's the issue with that is that we have a situation right now where the UFC is in negotiation with multiple networks as to who's going to re-sign their contract for publishing rights. We have ESPN Plus, it's their current guy that's going to go away. Either they re-up with ESPN Plus,
Better,
or
'cause
the
I'ma
big
fucking
one.
delete it.
No, well, here's the thing. A big one that everybody's talking about. UFC is a part of the TKO group. Who does the TKO group also own? The WWE. What did the WWE just do? Sign a deal with Netflix to stream directly on Netflix, even though they have their own network. Wouldn't it make sense for the UFC to do something very similar, especially now that
Yep.
they've seen
They're all
that they are
partnered up.
capable of doing a live streaming event, even though
It was trash.
It was
buffering
trash.
like crazy.
Thank you.
Trash.
I
It was
definitely-
so bad. Yo,
Trash,
I don't
bro.
know about you guys because I pay for everything that I watch. Trust me. But I was told allegedly that
Yeah.
some illegal streams were working better than Netflix
Yeah.
itself was, and that's
That's
insane.
nuts.
That's
Yeah.
insane, bro.
Yeah, serious.
So, but we'll see. But like you brought up earlier, Melvin, with the whole like, oh, this is the money fight. Connor's still on contract with the UFC for like I think 1 or 2 more fights, and the UFC allegedly, mainly Dana White, hates Jake Paul. So I don't know if that fight's gonna happen.
I said give him like a mediocre fight. He's not.
But it's Conor McGregor. That's the thing is that his name is
Sometimes-
up here. You
Sometimes
can't
you
give
gotta
him
go
like
with the rankings.
Yeah, but I
only
remember
way-
how
Dan
Dana,
Hooker is the only one that I think is the one that you can give him now, where it's like an introductory fight that he's like
Are you still
getting.
here?
I was
Yeah.
gonna say he has a shot to beat Hooker.
Dan
I
Hooker.
think so too.
But
Easy
what
on.
I remember,
Hooker's
Dana
tough,
White was
though.
Ain't
very,
that Hooker?
very. Dana
Hooker
White
and
was
Poirier
very
was
against
war.
this Conor fighting Floyd,
Yeah, he was.
and it ended up happening. Why? Because the money was too much to say no to.
So that's another topic that I wanted to get into too. Is that also like a big thing with this is like we were talking about a few episodes ago. No, the Michael Chandler and Conor McGregor fight has to happen. Yada yada yada. But then another part with it is also Saudis have been giving a lot of money to boxers, and they want to see some crazy stuff happen. Like you said, Melvin, the money could be big enough that they can write a check and be like, "This is a separate thing," and then Conor just never fights again and just remains with the 2
what
fights
if
on
him
the
losing
on the
it
contract.
all is the fire he needs?
I don't think so. I don't
It's
think so.
definitely going to be some type of
And
fight.
he's got the BKFC stuff going on too.
Yeah, but I don't see him fighting in BKFC. If he won't fight in the UFC, he ain't fighting in BKFC. Like no offense to BKFC, but it's a step down in the sense of like you have tried a lot for your career to get like to where it is, and that like the BKFC guys are usually guys that are like I'm trying to get this paycheck. Conor doesn't need the paycheck. For him, it's more so the legacy fights that he needs to go to do. So if he doesn't do the legacy fights.
The only way he would fight Jake Paul is if
do,
Jake
man?
Paul goes into the UFC in the octagon.
But that's another thing
But he
too, is
won't.
that
He
Jake
won't.
Paul is signed to the PFL Superfight division. That's
Yeah.
a whole other company that again the UFC does not like.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
If they won't make the Francis crossover John Jones fight, you think they're gonna make Conor
Exactly.
versus whoever is
Jake
over
Paul, yeah.
there? Like, no,
Yeah, no.
It's crazy.
doesn't matter.
There's only one camera.
I don't know. Just go by the rankings,
shit was
damn
bad
it.
as fuck.
Yeah.
Forget the money and let the man fight. He's still not that old, really. He can still be like how many Brazilians fought
Friday?
to the 45?
But that's my thing is that like it's Conor McGregor is the one that everybody like puts you to. Like everybody is like, oh, like you want to be the next Conor McGregor, or this guy is giving me vibes of Conor McGregor, or whatever it might be. So I just feel like you can't put him against anybody. And then now also, I mean, now that I think about it, he's also talking about fighting Chandler at 170, so he could also move up in weight. But even then, like the guys at 170 are killers, man.
Oh yeah, all right.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
they're absolutely
Yeah.
killers. Like all right,
But you know what? He's always been like even with the Dustin fight. Like, they don't give him a fight. He's just able to just throw that shit on Twitter.
yeah.
You just
Yeah,
create
yeah.
the buzz high, like the hype enough just to say, fine, we'll make it happen type shit.
Well, that's why I think a Dan Hooker fight could happen because the way Michael Chandler got a in between fight, I think that he can get that kind of fight as well. I think he can get a fight where he's like, let me get the. I don't want to call it a tuna fight because that's disrespectful to Dan Hooker. Again, I also think Dan Hooker's going to kill him. Dan Hooker, like you
Dan
said,
Hooker is good.
got all the VC points, got the tattoos, and he's a different fighter.
Oh,
Right
yeah,
now.
ain't
You
got
seen-
Hooker.
You seen him fighting
Different.
speed?
Styles make fights though. It would favor Conor to fight Hooker.
Do you think
because
so?
Hooker's a stand-up fighter.
Yeah, but here's the thing though: is also like you have to add in like the ring rust and all that kind of stuff. And I would say right now, I think Dan Hooker is quicker to the punch,
Yeah, I would agree with that.
and he's also I think he's a taller fighter than him as well.
He fights long.
So that's another thing he's got to think about. Also, is like if he's quicker to the punch and he's already longer in range than you, he's gonna hit you a lot quicker than you're gonna hit him. And Dan Hooker will put his. Have you seen him versus Dustin Poirier? Dan Hooker versus Dustin Poirier.
Oh, it was an absolute dogfight.
He's willing to put his body on the
It was a
line
dog
for
fight,
whatever. I don't know if Connor's willing to do the same. Right now.
That fight was different because there was just commentary and there was no fans.
Oh, that's my.
COVID.
Yeah.
That's
you
my
heard
thing.
every punch. You heard every shot. It was incredible.
Yeah, Hooker's
listen,
not afraid to die.
Right
in
now, the
octagon.
Apex, I need them to get out of there unless it's like Dana White Contender Series. I need them to start going in front of crowds when it
I
comes to
feel
those
that.
fight nights. But I will tell you, the COVID era UFC was beautiful. Like
Heard everything.
commentary and you just heard the shots just
Back in the face.
bah, like it's crazy.
It
It
was
was crazy good. But there was definitely I don't know, man. There's a lot of things you can do with this one, but I just think that Connor's kind of wrapped up. I don't think the UFC cares enough
to be real, like
I mean, people pay
last
for it.
time, like when this happened to Tyson, he never came back the same.
Right.
Even still,
What, when he came out of prison?
yeah, when he came out of prison,
Because
Nah,
the thing
when
with
he came out of prison, Tyson was nasty. Like when his first couple fights out.
I think he
Well,
started. I think he
started
started
slow.
declining when Customado died.
I just remember the Lennox Lewis fight. And I'm like,
Yeah,
he had
that
the
one I
tattoo
remember.
on
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
well, let's also look at this though. Like, let's not lie. Like, I think Mike Tyson is also like, even now with like the build up to the Jake Paul fight, his motivation is a lot different than I think Connor's was.
Yeah.
Connor's was like, let me prove something of myself and make my people proud. Whereas like Tyson was just fighting himself and a demon.
yo, but
Yeah.
both of them were like super rich, cocaine, crash out.
Yeah.
I get what you mean. I get what you mean.
You know, I don't know.
I know. It was sad seeing Tyson fight like that, bro.
I know.
I was just like,
But
man.
when I seen him fight Roy Jones, I honestly
I already knew it. Yeah.
when they were hyping it, it was like, oh, I seen this on IG before the Roy Jones fight.
Yeah.
We're seeing the same thing, and they're like,
Yeah.
oh, look at him training. I like to see him get in shape the way he did
Yeah.
at this age.
Yeah.
That was cool because people forget how out of shape he was for a little
Yeah.
bit.
That was I heard that was one of the things. The reason he took the fight was he had a reason to get in shape because then he almost died like a few months ago.
Oh yeah, the freaking.
I get it, man.
But the way he was training was nothing like the way he was performing.
no,
True.
no.
He's still 60.
But that's also like that's also you like standing in front of like a non-moving like heavy bag. and just like practicing hitting mitts and whatnot. So the footage always looks different than when you see him in the fight. Even these UFC fighters, if you follow them on Instagram, you see them post their like training footage. You see them doing some crazy stuff. You see them in the fight, you're like, where was that guy?
Yeah.
Where was that?
Just like Bruce Lee says, boards don't hit back.
Exactly. Yo, I don't know. That's facts, bro. Like that's why I don't take any of that unless I see them like live sparring with somebody else, which they rarely ever post. Like I don't believe any of that. Like because you can see them do some crazy stuff, but I can go up against that wall right now and do something crazy and be like,
I'll punch right through that wall.
Go ahead.
On stream.
On right now.
Go ahead.
It goes right through it.
Really funny, but yeah, I don't know. I think for me, Connor's done. I personally haven't had interest in watching him fight since I saw him lost those Dustin Poirier fights. I could just see that the edge was gone, and that karate stance Connor, that crazy one that everybody fell in love with. That even that style after he fought Mayweather, he leaned more towards boxing, and I think that's also part of his downfall.
True.
Yeah,
The kicks disappeared, and he seems more flat-footed.
For sure.
And like he had that bladed stance when he was in his prime, light on his feet, darted in and out, that karate style.
The heavy.
It's not there anymore.
It's gone.
And then the steroids wasn't helpful. He got heavier.
Well, to be fair, the steroids are just mainly used as like a recovery method in his
100%,
case. So
right?
for him, off of the leg break, it was just him trying to get back. Granted, he got, and then
He got fucking.
and then Roadhouse, he was like, might as well just keep going.
Yeah, huge, bro.
But it's still pretty bad. I don't know if he's. I don't think he makes a return. I'm gonna be honest with you at this point, because then also all the
like that leg break be the end.
Nah, just make movies, bro. Just do something else.
see that's the thing.
Never
Though.
back down 3.
That's the thing is also
Yeah,
like,
right.
like the,
Pete Connor was the Eddie Alvarez fight.
Oh,
He was still Pete Connor then.
yeah.
Not anymore.
I think if things had went a little differently and he had fought Michael Chandler at the beginning of the summer like he was supposed to, and he probably would have lost, in my opinion, that would have just been an okay send-off and be like, listen, Connor, you really tried, bud. You unfortunately had those downfalls with Dustin. You got into the situation here. You're no longer just that guy anymore, and you lost. But then now that he's having these outside of the cage things affect his image, it doesn't make sense, in my opinion, for the UFC to align themselves.
Yeah, they're gonna wait to see what happens with this.
But even then, though, that's the thing is that he's
wins the appeal.
already been found like full blown guilty, and other brands have already dropped him. Like I don't. Listen, I'm not seeing the.
12.
I know.
You know what's a crazy?
I mean, listen. Let's again. Like I said, time heals all wounds in a good way and a bad way. Apparently,
he's gonna be in everybody's like.
I don't know if you all remember. Does anybody here remember what happened of New Year's Eve in the former year with beloved President Dana White and his wife at a party?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you see how it just took you a second? There you go.
The thing is with like.
You see what I
fighters,
mean? Like it's.
The same thing with John Jones, or like, it's like, if you're gonna be that great of a fighter, you are gonna be tapped to a level of.
You're cracked.
You're literally a warrior to a super extent. Like you're way too violent to be amongst normal humans.
Well, and again, like besides
civil living.
I will tell everybody this because I'm not going to throw all the blame on this one event. Look into this case, and I will say from what I've gathered, it's weird, man. The girl was also doing a lot. Like it's weird. But like Connor has had other incidents. Like he knocked out a mascot at like a basketball game.
Yeah.
He's assaulted other random people in the
that
street.
Video of him,
like
like grabbing Shorty's hair.
Yeah,
not,
like
not
he's-
helpful.
cocaine Connor on the internet.
Cocaine con.
Like there's a lot that goes into it. That's not just this, but I think this is the nail in the coffin type of moment. But
Relax.
let everybody look into it. We'll move on.
All right, one last thing I was gonna say though. What about the opposite effect? Like, what if, for example, everything happens and he is found not guilty? Like, for example, what's that actor's dude's name from Disney, Kang? How you guys hear about his case?
Yeah, what's up?
So where is he now? That you're giving me the perfect example. Where's Jonathan Majors now?
But I'm saying after everything, because everybody dropped them just due to those
I
allegations,
hate allegations.
and then
I'm not a fan
This
of
is-
allegations.
because it's more like you're guilty until proven innocent versus innocent until proven
Exactly.
guilty.
And listen, to the internet that's looking at this, I totally get this is a table full of men. This is a weird situation that we all
Yeah.
honestly live in. That I'm not trying to sit here and be like, oh,
Keep your hands to yourself.
women. Keep your hands to yourself. But at the same time, like, let's not lie. Like,
Not
we do live
justifying
we
it
do
at
live
all.
in a situation where like a single tweet, a single post on the internet with no credibility, no receipts, no information whatsoever can completely ruin someone's life.
Yeah.
And then even though then that person whose life was ruined has the receipts to prove that they were innocent. They had nothing to do with it. Gone.
Still tarnishes.
Gone.
So real quick to just clarify, Jonathan Majors was found guilty in his criminal's case. The civil suit, the shorty dropped the civil suit.
Oh,
So he skated on that because she dropped it, but he was still convicted for his criminal
That's the one
case.
where Shorty was running a couple blocks.
Yeah,
But we're just.
Shut
But
it.
I know with him it's a little bit differently. But that's why I said that he's literally giving me the ammunition to prove my point correct.
Yeah.
Where it's like he's still like he did something wrong and he's still not given work. It wasn't like Disney was like, whoopsies, we'll put him back as Kang. They
Yeah.
completely were like, we're just gonna get rid of Kang as a character.
Yeah.
Like, they
We're
completely were like,
gonna reuse fucking Robert Downey Jr.
But that's,
Yeah,
what, that's,
facts.
that's what I'm saying.
They could. They
And
could.
again, that's a machine as big as Disney that can
Yeah.
make new stars. The UFC is making new stars every
Yeah,
other
true
week.
that.
There is no need to bring this man back. Connor, thank you for your contribution. When they look back at the history books of the UFC, they will see how great of a person you are, and that is where you will live. But other than that, right now,
Yeah.
even if he came back and got a glorious win, I don't think people are going to care that much.
All right,
Like,
he's definitely, especially because it's a new generation
it
watching
also
too.
it also doesn't
Nobody
help that
cares
again
anymore.
at the end
That's
of
fair.
the video game,
know,
the
like-
boss you have to beat is Khabib .2. Like he's going to
Right.
kill you.
Yeah.
Khabib
right.
with better stand up.
With better stand up. Like you see where it's like it'd be different. I feel like if this was a make believe world where you can in your brain be like, oh no, because then Connor could do this and he could beat that guy and then he could become champion. Like I brought up the other day where it was like
I don't ever
there's
say
a
champion.
world where Conor McGregor becomes champion again if Michael Chandler goes on a tear or whatever it was. Now that I don't think that's gonna happen, and I just don't think that he just doesn't have
Nah, he
a
don't have- he don't
space
have it
in
in him.
this. Even if it was like super fights, I can't even think of a super fight that would make sense because in my brain immediately would be a Dustin Poirier or a Max Holloway. I don't think either one of them is gonna want to
Go
sign
home
up for
against
that one
Nate
right now
Diaz again.
because they would rather fight each other and get the same amount of money.
Right.
Throw him against
Well,
Nate
like-
Diaz, just
Nah.
finish the trilogy or whatever.
Well, like
Masvidal.
Melvin was saying the other day, we were talking about this whole situation with like Jake Paul and all these like crazy super fights. Like the money's just too big, bro. Like the money's just too big. So it could happen. And you mentioned it earlier too. Like that could be his next fight. I don't know if Dana White is even. I guess maybe he might just take the payday just to be like, Connor, you go over there. I can't use you here. I might as well get paid to use you over there. Maybe he'll do that.
Think
Maybe-
about fighters too, like, well, this is my opinion, I guess, but like, I might cross the line. But fighters, it doesn't matter what crime they do.
cut that.
Yeah.
I
true.
really think fighters can get away with any crime and continue fighting.
Nah, not true.
Not like an NBA player. If you do a crime, your career might be over.
Nah, they get fined. Everyone would just get fined, or you can't get away with any crime, no matter what
Mike Tyson
profession
got
you
away
do.
with the
I don't
worst.
know.
You bit off someone's ear, yeah, publicly.
Oh, he
But-
fucked-
yeah. I get that. That's-
R word.
Yeah.
He did the one, bro.
Yeah.
He did the one and only
Yeah.
worst crime, and we love Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was bringing it up earlier. Where it's like, in time, when you look,
Time does not heal all
it's
wounds.
like-
Yeah,
no.
not all of them, though.
Not
it's
all
like it's like the
wounds, no.
it's like the same thing as like looking at, like I said, John Jones's record. You see that one, you just see the one. But if you go back, you're like, all right. But it's the same thing with like Connor. In time, as time progresses, maybe they just hear this big fighter, and you look into it, you'll be like, oh, this is how.
Yeah. Fun fact: Tupac Shakur was also convicted of rape. Just letting y'all know that.
That was definitely.
All right. Well,
Anyway.
you ruined Tupac for everybody.
Anyway,
Yeah, nah,
yeah, but you see,
But then
he
again,
didn't lose that. I don't think.
I don't know.
Like, the
I
case-
just
he didn't
think
lose
I
the
just,
case.
I just think the UFC is just gonna end up moving on. I think that they've gotten to the point where they have enough stars right now that they don't need another Conor McGregor, even though they use him as the pedestal. And just like moving on, UFC 310 that's coming up in December 7th.
Let me get the bottle. Now we're talking about 310.
yeah. We
This
this
was-
here, pass it down.
I get you. So, UFC 310 is coming up December 7th. It's going to be a great card. Now, this one's had a little bit of turmoil. Obviously, it's supposed to start off where it was supposed to be Bilal Muhammad versus Shavkat Rakhmonov, but unfortunately, due to an injury, I don't know if you've seen the photo, but that toe, Bilal's toe looks messed up. He's like an inside infection in his toe, and it made it like huge.
Just put it there.
Ugh, did not look good, but he's out. So Shavkat, being the savage that he is with all the wins that he has and no losses that he has, he was like, give me who's next. I don't care. So he called out everybody and everybody. Everybody said, I'm good, thank you. You are a killer. I've seen you murder people in the octagon. I'm set.
Yeah,
One
right.
person decided to stand up, though, and that's Ian Machado Gary. So now we
Brave.
got
Brave.
Very brave. But Ian, I guess they're both putting up their.
You know
Oh,
he be wearing them hats.
you can't. When they come into the octagon with the hats and they put the hat on the Joe Rogan, you already know that guy's the winner.
Yep.
Yo.
So that one's gonna instead of being instead of being the main event, they got bumped down to co-main event, and now they moved up Alexander Pantoja versus Kai. What's his name? Kai Asakura. Now I said that name. You don't know who he is. A lot of people don't know who he is. Kai Sakura is a two-time. What did I say earlier? Not Pride. Ryzen champion. Yeah, two-time Ryzen champion. It's because we were talking about Pride before the cameras fired up.
Yeah, true.
He's a two-time Ryzen champion. He started his career when he was like 18 and just a beast, bro. Like I think he's like 20-6 or something like that.
Highlights
Like
look good.
it's insane. Like, he's young. He's like 30 right now, so he's in his prime. I mean, he's just been handling people. The only person of note that I've seen on his record that I can think that most people now would probably remember is going to be like Manal Cop. He's somebody that's currently in the UFC, that's currently fighting for a title. It seems like with the credentials that Kai Sakura has gotten, he's managed to win himself a debut title fight, which you rarely ever see.
Very
UFC.
rare. You must be that nigga.
You
Yeah.
must be.
Yeah.
You
You
must be.
like to
He-
get like a title fight. Is like
that
nobody knows who this guy is.
Even Anderson Silva had to fight somebody before.
Exactly. So it's crazy that they were like, you got the shot, bro. But
Makes you have to look into him. Like, wait a second.
he's 21
he
and
answered the call.
4 right now. That's his record right now.
Solid.
He's been doing pretty good, man. But that's gonna be the main event. But
Has he fought any Pantojas?
no, but I think that's gonna be his. This is gonna be his scrap. So I guess we've kind of normally we give you the option. I'll give you the option anyway, even though we've already kind of started talking about it. Would you rather start from the first fight of the night and work our way up, or would you rather start at the main event and work our way down?
Let's start with the first fight, I guess.
First fight of the night. All right. So then we'll put this on the back burner. We'll get back to it then.
That's a cool.
Yeah, no. So we'll start with the first fight of the main card. So we're gonna start with Nate the Train, baby, coming to the UFC.
Yeah.
Nate Landwehr versus Choi Do-ho. That was gonna be a good one. I like Nate the Train. I feel like he's gonna be he's an exciting fighter to watch. I don't know if you guys have caught any of his other fights. He's been mainly on like fight nights every now and then. I think he's gotten like one UFC pay-per-view recently, but not like he's the main event. But he's just
I got
been
you. He's on
on
the
it,
card,
you
yeah,
know?
for sure.
Up and coming guy, very exciting and just somebody who's willing to go forward. But like I forget what this dude's nickname is. Chuho Doi. I think they call him Chu Do-ho. He call him something else. Somebody else that just fought recently has a similar name, but I guess backwards. I think is he the Korean Superboy?
The Korean Superboy, yep.
He's the Korean Superboy. Yeah, Korean Superboy. This dude's a beast, bro.
Shout out Korea.
He is currently 15-4-1. I've seen a few of his like highlight clips. Very exciting fighter. Very like dynamic striker. I think he's gonna be somebody that's gonna give Nate Landwehr a bit of a struggle. Nate isn't somebody that's been like killing people, by the way. Like to those of you that don't really know, he's just one of those guys on the roster, unfortunately. I feel like that's what it is. You know what I mean? So this is going to be a good fight. Nothing crazy. So, just tune in. We'll move on. I know
Bryce
nobody's
Mitchell,
really...
though.
Next one we got, though, this one's going to be one that we were talking about even before the camera started up. This is Bryce Mitchell versus Crone Gracie. Now, last name, I mentioned it. Gracie. Legendary Gracie. The Gracie family. The original Gracie family. Yeah, that's this guy.
Does he live
Who'd
up
you
to
say
the legend?
Who's
Yeah.
Crone? Who's Crone's dad?
Crone is Hickson's son.
Hickson's son, yeah. So you hear the Gracie name, you immediately think jiu-jitsu, and you immediately think this guy's going to choke him out. But I've seen Crone fight before, and
Yeah, you know what's crazy?
that's good Crone.
When Chrome was in Ryzen, all of his wins were all submissions.
Yeah, well, that's
As soon as he got to the UFC, he's getting knocked out. Oh, no, was it unanimous decision?
no, because that's the thing is that
Okay.
the last time I saw him fight, he was butt scooting across the octagon because he didn't want to strike. He needed it to get to the ground because that's his whole thing is jiu-jitsu. When the UFC first started, the Gracie family was like, we're going to send a representative of jiu-jitsu to basically go and show these guys that jiu-jitsu is king. And because nobody had seen jiu-jitsu before, it worked out
it was the
really, really well.
Yep.
Now that people start off training with MMA, which is the full round base of everything, they learn jiu-jitsu and they learn how to defend stuff. So when you have somebody that's like, I'm not going to the ground with you, bud, and then your only thing is going to the ground, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah.
Right?
So I feel like we were talking about this
Like
earlier.
Brian Hall almost.
Yeah,
Same-
exactly.
Same type of deal.
Exactly. You listen. I'm one that even earlier in the episode I was talking about like playing to your strengths in the Marab with the wrestling and stuff like that. But at the same time, if it's not working, you got to find something else that is. But if it's working, keep going. But if you can't get it, you can't get them down to the ground and finish them. Stop doing it, man.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
It
oh
seems
my
like if
God.
you can't submit him, he loses by decision.
Well, I think his last fight that I watched, I'm pretty sure that the ref had to keep standing him up. Like I said, he was butt scooting, which is literally his butt
Yeah.
scooting around
Yeah.
the octagon trying to get somebody to come down to him. And then
Yeah,
why would I do that?
Exactly.
Doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, that was horrible.
Bryce Mitchell, on the other hand, is like a very good overall fighter, but also like very good on the ground. Take
Yeah,
that
he's
defense
solid.
crazy, wrestling crazy, got put to sleep and kind of concerned me. But who was it that he just recently fought? Why am I blanking on this guy's name? But he recently
Josh
got,
Emmett.
Josh Emmett. Josh Emmett sent him to the shadow realm.
Yeah.
Oh
He-
my
he's,
god.
He's definitely like his last 2 losses were against Topuria and Josh Emmett.
No, he's fighting the best of the best because he was one of the guys that people were expecting him to go for a title shot.
Yeah.
Like last year, I think around the end of last year, they were expecting him to be in the title picture. Josh Emmett met him with the right hand, and that did not happen.
It's a wrap.
Until Topuria, he was
You
undefeated.
gotta watch that fight.
Yeah,
Like,
no, I've seen
it's,
that one.
It's bad. Like the commentary team was like, "Is he still not up?" Like,
Yeah.
they're trying to be discreet about it. Like, he's still not moving, bro. Like, they're like, what are you talking about? He's still
in the background.
He's still DC's like, yo, someone check on him. Like, it's so bad. But
Dan Ige.
I got Bryce Mitchell in that one.
Yeah.
I just feel like Kron is too one-dimensional, and in a sport like this where it's literally mixed martial arts, you
need the
cannot
mixed
be
part.
I hope he's been working.
He's real big on the mixed part, bro.
Yeah.
Like you can't be one-dimensional unless it is a dominating factor. But even then, I find the only one that you can really be like that is wrestling.
Yeah.
Even striking, like
You can kind of control where the fight goes.
exactly, like
Somebody can't defend your takedown. They're screwed.
they can't do nothing. Like we were talking about earlier, John Jones versus Alex Pereira. You know, as great of a striker as he is, and the amount of people he's knocked out, we're waiting for the takedown from John.
Hey, they haven't given Alex Pereira
No, and that's that's the thing.
That's
is-
everybody's weakness. It's
That's
like
the thing is that those
Khabib.
they're running the world for what reason? The combat sambo apparently is the one right now until somebody figures out a way to get around it. And
Like,
like
yeah,
we
we-
brought up the knees to the ground of the opponent. We haven't really seen that used as much, so maybe we'll see it a little bit more. But so far I haven't seen anybody come up with something that's able to, I guess, challenge the combat sambo from the mountains of Dagestan. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if somebody comes up with somebody. But I got Bryce Mitchell on that one. I don't think Kron is going to
agree.
do too much, in my opinion. Next up on the card, we got Cyril Gane versus Alexander Volkov.
Okay, I'm excited for this one.
This one's going to be a
This is a
great
great
fight.
I'm
fight.
excited
This is a
for
great
this
fight.
one.
Listen, heavyweight doesn't have a lot of names that you get excited to see, and I think both of these guys are a fantastic matchup, especially since Volkov recently has been on a tear.
Air,
Like,
man.
he's been one that people are like, oh, he's getting that title shot next. Like he's
He
been
lost,
doing.
to, he lost to Aspinall.
Yeah.
Beat Rosenstruck.
Yep.
How you pronounce that? Romanov. Tuivasa. Of course, he's been falling off. But
Yeah.
Sad.
Pavlovich was his last win.
Even that one was a crazy one when there was the two Russians going up against each other.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought Sergey was like, "Yo, I'm sick and tired of this. I'm going back for my title." Did
Beat
not do
Overeem.
enough. He
Yep.
was getting
Yep.
and he was getting frustrated in that fight just because Volkov again
too,
the length and reach of a fighter matters a lot. The fact
Yeah.
that he's able to stick that jab and keep you at range, and with Pavlovich's whole thing is landing that bomb on you. If he
Yep.
can't reach you,
He
he
ain't
can't
gonna
do
hit.
much. So
Exactly.
it's the same thing. But now you have two dudes that are both, I think, like 6'4", or whatever they might be. Like, let's see.
Who's your pick on this one?
Yeah,
who you think's
6'6",
taking
Six,
this
six
one?
and 6'3".
Theragon has beat him the last time.
I think
He adapts in some way, right?
I think that Volkov is gonna adapt to the way that they fought last time, and I think we're gonna see a little bit more grappling from Volkov, and I think he's gonna take it by decision.
No, I agree because I don't know.
Listen,
Volkov-
Cyril Gane is great.
Theragon is great, but like
Listen, the John Jones fight removed, and I guess even with Francis managing to wrestle him and finesse him like that, but
Francis
again,
pretty much just jumped on him.
he did.
He
But
hasn't-
fight.
he had no
he
finish or
beat
anything
Derek
like that.
Lewis. I think that was his best.
He does really
Yeah.
well, so that's why I'm intrigued to see this fight. I think it's gonna be a good like. I
I'm
think
gonna go
he's
with
gonna-
Cyril Gane, even though I know this man Volkov has been killing it right now.
Go Theragon as well.
Cyril Gane is the younger guy. What are you going with?
That John Jones experience
That's-
might be helpful.
That's a tough one, honestly, because
What John Jones experienced all 40 seconds? Like he
Yeah.
literally went in,
I got
go,
I got touched
choked
by,
out.
I got touched
Never
by
mind.
a goat.
I think if Cyril's busier on the feet, I think he's more technically sound than Volkov.
He's quicker on the feet, I think for sure.
I think he could win if he's the busier fighter.
Yeah.
But if not, Volkov.
Well, that's why I think
Goes
that
to
it's going to be
the third round Volkov.
That's why I went with Volkov, is because, like you said, he's a busier fighter and everything. That's why I said he's going to be grapple heavy. If he's smart, he'll be grapple heavy. He'll at least try to get him in the clinch, like trying to land some strikes there. But Volkov is also like He's a good kickboxer as well.
He is,
He's
yeah.
not no joke on the feet either.
This is definitely
yeah.
a very close.
And
Yeah,
he's the
I'm excited
taller
for this
fighter.
fight,
He's
yeah.
the taller fighter as well. So who knows, man?
Imagine 6'6" just fucking kicks your face.
I'm
Yeah.
good, man.
Done,
I'm
bro.
good. I'm good. I'm good. But I mean, the older fighter, but by 2 years, 36 versus 34, and at heavyweight, you go until you're 45. Ain't nobody gonna care. You be all right. It is crazy to see though that Cyril Gane's only 2 losses are like the 2, I guess, greatest heavyweights
Yeah,
the UFC has had,
exactly.
Yeah.
Francis and John. Like,
Yeah.
it's pretty wild. But
And he was the champion before.
I don't think it's gonna be like a. That's why I said decision. I don't think it's gonna be like a blowout win. I just think that'll be like the edge.
Yeah, it'll be closely contested.
We got odds yet on that one? Has anybody seen the odds on that one? I feel there's got to be something out right now. Usually the UFC will put some good odds on that one. If you had to guess right now, who do you think is the underdog?
Underdog, I would say Volkov.
Cyril Gane is.
Who won the first
I feel like
fight?
Cyril Gane off the loss. Cyril Gane, I think, won. Ooh, Cyril Gane's a minus 290, so he's the favorite in this one. Volkov's a plus 235.
Hmm.
Interesting. All right, so I guess more people are picking Cyril Gane to come off that loss and be like, nah, dog, I'm not taking this sitting down, bro.
Besides, I feel like the public at least, like besides John Jones and Aspinall, I feel like they see Cyril Gane as like that third. kinda
I will
guy,
see.
you know,
I
like-
mean, to be fair, he definitely is. Like I said earlier, these heavyweights, man, a dime a dozen. They're not the most athletic people. So when you see somebody that like looks like a superhero, like Cyril Gane does, and he's light on his feet, hits hard, and he's just dancing around you, kicking you, breaking you down like bit by bit before he knocks you out. I get it. I get it. But then Volkov, I don't know. He's just kind of been on this like resurgence. Like
Yeah,
he's been around for a while. If you go in and you look at the names he's fought,
Very
all
experienced,
of them.
38
Yeah.
and 10. That's fucking 48 fights.
That's the only reason I give him the slight edge is that
To
experience.
14 fights.
I see him being like, let me play this smart. Let me get him tired. Go up against the fence a little bit. Wrestle him up a little bit. We saw that now his 2 losses come via being grappled and wrestled.
Yeah.
Whether it's
Just-
Francis sitting on him or it's John Jones choking him out.
Now that I know the odds, I'll probably bet my money on Volkov though.
I think that's a smart, like,
That's a
game,
smart
game
bet.
plan for Volkov to go, like, because, yeah,
Clinch,
Cyril, I
knees.
think Cyril is like technically more sound on the feet.
For
So
sure.
for grappling wise, I think it would be a smart game plan for Volkov.
He probably wants
if
some
you,
space.
if you
Yeah.
look at him, with me, Cyril Gane is let me get my distance and let me get these kicks off. Let me keep you at
Yep.
bay, like kind of like a Wonder Boy almost. Where
Right.
I'm like you said earlier with Conor, the darting in and out. Like
Yeah.
that's kind of his thing. So for Volkov, even though he is the taller, lengthier fighter, I feel like he'd want to keep it a little bit more dirty. Get in his face, not necessarily like boxing in his face, but like clinch work, get him up against the cage, tire him out, and then from there you work on him in the later rounds of like round 2 or 3. But we'll see how that one goes. I'm gonna go with Volkov on that one. I don't know. I feel like I got a good feeling about this one. But then the fight's gonna start, and he's gonna get head kick KO'd in the shadow realm.
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna have Ariel like, what'd you say?
I'm putting my money on Volkov, but I think Cyril Gane will win.
All right. What you got?
Don't lose your money, bro.
I think Cyril.
I know, but
Cyril?
it's such a close fight with the underdog being
Exactly.
Volkov is kind of.
It's hard, man. On
It's
a
tough.
streak
I
right
get
now.
you on that.
Damn, Chrome Gracie's at plus 390. I'm not even gonna bet on that one. That's a waste of money in my
It's a waste. That motherfucker losing.
big time. Big time. All right, so then
Next fight is crazy.
up next, now we got the co-main. Now this one's gonna be insane. So we got the 0-0. We got Shavkat Rakhmonov versus Ian Machado Gary. Now, I got Shavkat Rakhmonov off rip. I'm just gonna say that off rip.
Yeah.
I do think that Ian is gonna present some issues for him in the first round, but then after that, it's all Shavkat, and I think he's gonna finish him. I think on the feet, we're gonna see Ian. You know what I mean? It's the clinch work. You saw how what he did against man. Why am I blanking on this guy's name?
The recent fight,
Yeah,
Michael Page,
No,
Ralph Neal.
Yeah, Jeff Neal. When he
Jeff
did against
Neal.
Jeff Neal, standing choke, but also
Yeah,
before that,
yeah.
he was
I
he
thought
had
it
him
was
like
crazy.
he couldn't go anywhere, and he was just kneeing him until he had to give up and fall into the choke. So,
Jeff
don't know,
Neal
man.
is good.
Yeah.
and then if you look at Shavkat's record, not only is he undefeated, they're all finishes.
Yep.
Well, they're both undefeated.
All finishes. Yeah, but Ian has
Yeah.
won by decision. At least some people have managed to put the pace on him and keep him at bay. Where Shavkat's like, yo, I
No,
can't.
he's straight, yeah.
I
Yeah.
cannot, bro. I'm sorry.
I know. I
I've
think
given
Jeff Neal
up.
was like a split decision too, so that was a close fight.
Yo, this man is from Uzbekistan. Yeah,
Dude,
he-
everything. I pull his page up and it's literally a different language, bro.
It's a different language. You should bald eagle.
Also, be the same people that I forgot his name already.
Ian.
Yeah, he beat like
Well, they're in the same weight class, so they fought a lot of the same guys.
Neil
but
Magny,
I'd say like
Jeff Neal.
the wins are like the way he's winning is a lot better. Submission, KO, submission, submission.
Just choking the shit out of people.
Submission,
Rear
like-
naked choke, guillotine choke, rear naked spinning hook kick and punches.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think he's kind of taking that one. I'm not gonna lie
I'm
to
gonna
you.
put my money on Rachmanov.
Rachmanov.
Take a shot.
Take a shot. Take a shot.
Damn it.
Shavkat Rachmanov. See, look at this, bro. Even this, I'm on the UFC's website right now, right? Right underneath. What does that ad for? WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Never.
I'm telling you. I'm
Yeah.
telling you.
Day combo ticket.
They
No, we're not paid by them. We gotta read out the
my
ad.
bad,
We
my
gotta read out the
bad.
ad, bro. I'm just saying. It's these little small things that I'm telling you are leading up to it. Yeah, so
They're
we got
already partners, bro.
We got 18-0 Shavkat Rachmanov versus 15-0 Ian Gary. Ian Machado Gary represented Ireland. Shavkat Rachmanov represented Uzbekistan.
Where?
Yeah, he's coming out with the hat.
From what I see, so Shavkat has the
wearing a hat.
reach advantage and the leg advantage, but it seems like realistically, Ian is just a little taller than him by like 2 inches. I don't know, man. Ian's really good on the feet, like striking wise. He's a very dynamic striker. He's definitely like, let me get in and out, piece you up, and like wear and tear. Shavkat's just like a unrelenting force. Like he's just coming at you with everything he has, and like the cardio is there. He's gonna. This is only 3 rounds. So he's gonna be locked in for those 3 rounds. Whoa, actually, is it 3 rounds or 5?
No, I think it's 3.
If I had, it would make sense for it to be 3, but then that's crazy because that's another part of it. He trained for a 5-round fight against Bilal, and now
Yeah.
he gets to drop
Yeah.
down to a 3-round fight. So
Yeah.
this dude's coming in, and
That's-
Ian's coming in on short notice as well.
That's like a little breeze.
But if Ian wins this,
Yep.
to the title we go.
Mm.
To the title we go, which is what he wanted.
Yeah.
So it could be a big payday for Ian. That's why I love these. Like, I'll come in a week's notice. I love
Fuck
those
it.
guys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I love
right?
those guys because the
Gotta
payout.
stay ready.
Here's
Yeah,
the thing,
for real.
the payout is crazy, bro. Like the payout is too crazy for you not to. Like, how much money do you think Dan Ige got paid for 6 hours pulling up? Like,
just being a backup,
Crazy,
not
bro.
even fighting.
you just get paid and then you get to watch the fights. Why not? Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't
Yeah.
you? Especially because like after a while you're like, nah, they're not pulling out. Like I'm good. It's rare that you see somebody like, oh, a few hours before they couldn't make it and they had to pull out of the fight. But for the most part, you're solid. But I think this was a good move for him, especially because he's technically filling in for a champion. It also shows that he's like, nah, I'm ready to step into this
But
life.
if he wins this, he's worthy.
No, for sure. If he wins this, if he wins this, then I guess Bilal's next fight has to be against Ian. He wouldn't fight Shavkat because Shavkat just lost.
Yeah, exactly.
I would win that one.
I also like the against Ian. I could see him being Ian, but I think
don't think
Shavkat
Shavkat
would
will- yeah,
rip
exactly.
it from
Yeah.
his hands.
I think that would be a good fight.
I think Shavkat was gonna take them both, bro.
Yeah.
Well, his thing is the Corey Sandhagen way, where he's like, if I'm gonna be the champion anyway, I'm gonna have to fight these guys anyway. I might as well fight you now. Like
Yeah.
he's like, I'll fight anybody and everybody, whoever you think is a threat, I'll take them on now.
Yeah,
and I'll see what
savage.
happens.
That's like the best mentality, bro.
It is.
He
But
gets
at
you
the
out
same
the way
time,
right now.
at the same time, with Corey Sandhagen, he also lost against Umar, so now he doesn't get his title shot because he decided to be that way. So it's a gamble you're playing. It's a gamble. You remember, Shavkat was supposed to fight for the title, so he already has the guaranteed. He could just be like, let me wait until Bilal's good and we'll run that back.
right.
But instead, he's like, nah, I'm ready to fight now. Let me just kill somebody real quick on the way over. And it's like,
Yeah.
Bro, if you ready, you ready, bro.
Are you ready? He's like,
dude, that's
Alex Pereira
crazy
has
work.
that mindset too.
He does. He
Yeah.
does.
I love
Just
that
like,
shit.
yeah, I'm ready. So
Well, it's also the
whatever.
thing
Yeah.
of like you gotta
Probably
understand with these
fighting.
fighters, like, yo, you only have like a certain window to really make your bread and like leave your stamp on this game. You might as well
Yeah.
get it out of the way as soon as possible. Like
For
in my
sure.
opinion, I
And
feel
then
like
again, your health, bro. Like you don't know how you're gonna be feeling like
Right.
a year later from now.
exactly.
break your ribs,
Bro,
Yeah.
Hamza went from being one of the most active fighters in the UFC, possibly going to just rip the title from someone's hands, to like
That's it.
having whatever medical issues he was having
Exactly.
out for who knows how long. We just
Or you
recently
can,
saw
you can
him
be in the
back.
gym and break your toe, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
Not even-
All kinds of stuff could happen to you. So
That's why if you're ready now,
do it now.
do it now.
No, for sure. Because at the end of the day, like you said, anything could happen at any moment, and your title shot could just go away. And like I said, as much as you're a prize fighter, you're here to make that money. The money comes with the title as well. We're not going to sit here and
Exactly.
lie. You could
does.
accumulate that kind of bread being like a big name fighter that just kind of fights forever. Like Dustin Poirier, being in title fights but never winning the title, he's managed to make a lot of money. But
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
it's still the thing of like when you're the champion, you're
Definitely
guaranteed
make more
X
money.
amount of money that you're
Oh, yeah.
gonna get. So
Yeah,
why
for
wouldn't
sure.
you do that? You feel me? I feel like for me at least. I think that this is going to be a great fight. I definitely think this is going to go. Damn, do you guys think it's going to go under 2.5? I think it's going to be a finish. I don't know if it's going to go under 2.5.
Out of there
Early?
First round.
Under a round and a half.
Yeah, I say under like a round and a
I
half.
don't know, man.
Because Ian's good. Ian is really, really
I'm
good.
second, late
Ian,
second.
listen, Ian is as
Yeah,
much as he
maybe
gets
second
like
round.
online.
Late second.
Ian gets a lot of online hate for outside of the cage shenanigans and whatnot, but Ian Machado Gary is a phenomenal fighter. He's somebody
good.
that's like you want to bank on him to like in the long term bet of things. I see him wearing gold for sure. Right now, with a man named Shavkat Rakhmonov in front of him,
Savage.
don't think so. Don't think so.
So fun.
But in the future, it's there. You take your L here, you take a win there, you get there.
How's Ian Gary's wrestling?
Defensively, good. Offensively, I haven't seen it used enough. I feel like for the most part, it's been a lot of like clinch work and just avoiding getting taken down, less of like him being like, let me actively go for the single leg and get you down.
I think he's fought a grappler.
No, that's why I think Shavkat is going to rip this apart. Like he's just going to run through him. And also, you have to remember late notice fight as well. So like Ian is betting a lot on this.
Yeah.
It is a title shot. It is his undefeated streak. It's a lot. So that's why like this is a big win for him if he wins it.
Never been submitted.
No, he's a good fighter. He's a good
Yes.
fighter.
No, he is.
That's why I think it's going to be a good scrap. But like Shavkat's just shown me too much of like being able to like take apart these guys and find the finish. That's the part to me that matters the most. It's like Ian has an undefeated streak. They're off by what was it, like 3 wins apiece? One's like 18, one's like 15. Yeah, 18-0 versus 15-0. So 3 wins apiece. Those are 3 more finishes, technically way more finishes, actually, if you look at the total record, than Ian has. That's why I'm like, it's not the heavyweight, oh, he got lucky, landed a punch and clipped them. No, he is systematically breaking these guys down and then getting the finish. That's where I'm like, I don't know, man.
That's like what Khabib.
Take another shot.
Is he Khabib?
Yeah, kinda.
Is he kind of a Khabib?
Kinda. You just gotta break it up. Rakhmonov.
I know.
Ignore
on thinking
that
it's gonna be-
H you see
I keep
there.
on thinking it's gonna be Rakhmonov, and I look at it. Oh shit, there's no itch.
No. Shavkat Rakhmonov, and he's one of those dudes that comes in with the fancy hats.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
After he wins, he gives it to Rogan.
That's what I said. That's a wrap.
It's the only people I use in UFC fight.
Bro, you can't. They come in with the
Wearing a
hat.
funny ass hat.
Yeah.
It's
You're in the queue to fight.
It's plus 250 points. I don't care what the points mean, but it's plus 250 if you come in with a crazy hat. I don't care what it is.
100%. Yeah, I agree.
They all get this crazy aura. They put it on. They win. I don't know what it is. All right.
You remember Khabib and his hat when he was
When
he was talking to who was it? Michael.
Oh, I was telling you to get closer to the mic.
Yeah, oh my bad. Yeah, remember when he was fighting? Who was it? He was talking to me. He was like, "I gotta fight for title. You know this. I deserve this."
Yeah.
Who was he talking to?
Sugar
Michael.
Oh no, it wasn't Michael Bisping.
No. Michael.
I know what you're talking about. He was like literally on the floor, like letting him know. He was like
He's
trying to tell him to
he's
quit.
watching him like,
He was like he was giving him a chance like to give up,
yeah.
and then he
Michael
did it.
Johnson?
Michael Johnson.
Oh.
Michael Johnson.
I thought you meant the
Yeah,
commentator he
yeah,
was
you
talking
have to
to.
give up now.
No,
Okay.
I gotta fight for the title. I deserve this.
Yeah, he's talking
I
about,
love
And he
that
kept fighting
part.
back. He's like, okay.
he was talking to Michael Johnson.
I love that part that when they like just hearing them like the commentary.
Yes, bro.
when
We
they're
need a
fighting.
mic while they're there, like wrestling,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
We need a mic.
Because it's different. It's not like
It's-
basketball talking shit. It's different. It's like
yeah, completely different.
yeah.
Well, they have like.
Which I want a mic on basketball too.
Well, that's why I give the PFL like credit when they have the smart cage because they have cameras all around on the
Yeah.
bottom as well as the top, and then they also have mics all over the place, and then the refs also have like an additional mic, and
Yep.
they have the camera on them. I think it's
Yeah,
like
the ref
they
cam,
use,
yep.
like, the glasses, and they have one right here, so you get a little bit more. Yeah, literally, you get a little bit more like in the cage talk as well. It wasn't like you got that with the COVID era, but that's because like everybody was so
Yeah, you can
quiet.
hear
There was
everything,
nobody
yeah.
in there, but like yeah, I agree. Mike's in there would be dope.
Mics in there would be dope, bro.
Not everybody talks the smack. Like you got every now and then you get somebody that's like really chirping in there, but man, I'm not always.
No, but you know, it's
Kevin
more
Holland.
personal.
Kevin Holland for sure.
I forgot that other UFC fighter who just be making jokes while he's in there.
Kevin Holland.
Nah, it wasn't Kevin Holland. But I don't know, bro. A mic in there would be dope.
Kevin Holland managed to land himself the nickname Loudmouth for that reason.
Yeah.
Like crazy in there.
I feel like that one makes sense. You know, all right. So then moving on to the next one, and I just gotta like this is just kind of throwing me off a little bit. So I'm looking at like I'm on what is this? No, this is UFC's page, not ESPN's. It's weird to me that they're showing that Kaya Sakura's record is just 0-0-0. So I don't know if I guess Ryzen is under like a different one. So you got something different here, yeah. So you got 21-4. So that's what's showing up for me earlier.
Yeah, 21-4.
But then when you go on UFC's website, it says that he's 0 across the board. So maybe I don't know.
UFC.
No, because they bring in other people's professional records from like whatever they fought on
do 'em like
previously. That's weird that they put him like that. But anyway, we got the current champion. This is the
Pantoja's
title.
gonna get it.
I think so too.
Pantoja.
It's gonna be the title fight of the night, ladies and gentlemen. We got Alexandra Pantoja versus Kaya Asakura.
Yeah.
Now, Kaya Sakura, like I mentioned earlier, is somebody who's coming over from Risen or Ryzen, is a Japanese MMA organization. They have slightly different rules.
Don't mind that.
Ignore that. I was like, what was that? They have slightly different rules over there. Like knees to a grounded opponent has been allowed for a while and stuff like that. They don't allow elbows and things like that. So some rule sets are going to be a little different for him coming in. But like from what I
They
see
allow
from the
nunchucks
footage,
there.
yeah.
Imagine.
This guy has been on a tear, though. He's only had a couple of losses in his entire career, and he's been fighting since he's 18. He's at a prime age of 30, which is apparently the prime to be a UFC or MMA fighter in general. So he is, in my opinion, has managed. Listen, we have no idea who really this guy is, but he's managed to build enough clout outside of the UFC that they gave this man a title shot off rip. Like,
Yeah,
Imagine
off
that,
rip.
like-
They must have seen something crazy. Be
I
like,
know,
yo,
bro.
yeah, put this dude up in there.
well, they like I said,
He must be elite.
Manel
Yeah.
Kopp is the only guy that I saw on his record that I recognize as a UFC fighter that is like he's fought everybody else. He's been like big Japan names, but like
Yeah.
I don't know who they are. But he's been smoking these dudes.
He must have like whooped IP Man or something, bro, to get a title shot like off rip.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is like with
Yeah,
a
it's
lot
kinda
of
crazy.
a lot of these fighters like for the most part when they come over from other places they have to fight at least one. Like I don't remember because it's been a minute ago, but I think Michael Chandler was the current Bellator champion when he came over, or at least a former. Had to fight at least Dan Hooker before.
He
got a shot.
was a Bellator champ.
But I don't remember if he had the. I know he was. I just don't know if he walked away with the belt and then went to the UFC, or he lost and then went to the UFC.
Yeah, that's a good question.
That's the only part I'm like. But either way, it's still like for the most part, you gotta let the fans know who you are before
Exactly.
you go up in
I
there.
like it though. Like it brings a different, like mysterious hype to it.
It
Yeah.
does for sure, because
Yeah.
then it's also the fun part about this stuff is that if depending on the relationship the UFC has with Ryzen, we may not even get to see like his highlights when they do the build up. They'll only show his training footage. If you notice that with some of the guys when they're like brand new, like Alex Pereira, they didn't show a lot of his like glory kickboxing stuff.
Yeah,
Him
they
killing
didn't.
people because
Yeah.
they weren't allowed to. So you would just see
Exactly.
him hitting pads and you're like, oh, this guy's a whatever. And you see
Yeah.
him flying knees some
Yeah.
guy into the
Yeah.
shadow
Yeah.
realm. And you're like, who's
Like,
this guy?
what if he
Put him
wins-
against Izzy?
If he wins
Yeah,
this fight,
facts.
you think he just gets boosted? Like this is the new.
I think two things happen.
I think so.
This
He's
is
already
the new-
been boosted.
This is the new regime, and now we already are having it a little bit, but we're gonna see a lot more influx of like Japanese fighters. I know it's just a shirt. I don't know. You
I
just,
almost forgot
Yeah.
it until I love.
Yeah, the shirt is fire,
shout
bro.
out Hezbollah.
Yep. Yo, I would love to see Hezbollah fight somebody.
It's like another fucking.
They always throw him in like fights with other guys that are like similar, and I'm just like, you know what? I'll pay money for it. We'll do it.
Yeah,
Whatever.
facts.
full chain on, like he's.
Yo, he's that guy, dude. This is a real photo. Yeah, I think if he wins, if Kai Asakura manages to win, I think that he definitely brings in a lot more Asian fans and a lot more Asian fighters as well, which they're already doing. We talked about this, I think, on the last episode. I'm not entirely sure. Last week, or I guess this past weekend, there was a UFC fight night. I don't know if you noticed. That shit started at 3 a.m. was the prelims.
Early,
Main card
bro.
started
Let
at
me
6
tell you.
a.m. Eastern
Mad
Standard
knockouts,
Time.
though.
Let me tell you, this was lit.
Yeah, mad
It was
knockouts,
listen.
bro.
We watched it at night, like a person.
Yeah.
But there was a
I
lot
had to
of
rewatch that one.
There was a lot of crazy knockouts. A lot of very high athleticism. Honestly, I'm excited. Like I didn't know who any of these fighters were because they do. I'm trying to remember what it's called. I think it's called Road to UFC. But they basically have like. Think of like Ultimate Fighter and Dana White's
Yeah.
Contender Series, but they have it over in Asia, and they'll
Yeah,
have
there was a lot of Asian fighters.
well, yeah, they have
a
them
lot.
from all over the place,
Yeah.
and they come in, and they do. It's like a tournament that they do.
Saw
where
that
there are
guy's song getting knocked out, like the music got knocked out of him.
Yo,
it was like a spinning
so
back
bad.
kick. That was
So
that guy.
Bro,
bad.
I see someone get kicked.
He
in the
got a
face.
spinning back kick by a guy named Muslim.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
I see
Muslim
someone get
beat
kicked in the
song,
face.
bro.
I forget who the fighters were, but someone got kicked in the face so fucking hard, and then you heard it like so loud, and the dude tried to pretend like he brushed it off, but I realistically
I think it was the song guy, bro.
was it.
I think
It
so.
was, it was early in the fight. It wasn't like when he got knocked out yet.
What, you talking about prelims or?
It might have been. It might have been.
There was a few knockouts, and
It was
also,
main card, it was main
Yeah,
card.
you're talking about Muslim Salikov knocking out Song Kanan.
yeah,
Jesus Christ, dude.
I don't know what music. It was sweet chin music. He got knocked out, bro.
Shout out to the Heartbreak Kid.
Yeah, facts, bro.
That was nothing.
Facts.
That wasn't nothing. I seen that shit look like it hurt.
Yeah, he was laying on the floor like this, and then he was just like, "No, you're not okay." He was just like, like,
I'm good. Just don't do it again.
yeah. Just give me a minute. Just give me a minute, bro.
At least he got up quick, bro.
I couldn't
Yeah.
imagine. Like, I've been punched in the face, but I haven't been kicked in the face.
Yeah.
And that must be a crazy feeling.
I don't.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those things you don't know that it happened.
Yeah.
When you like,
He's like,
anybody that
Just
doesn't
wake
get
up like,
head
oh,
kick KO'd, it doesn't seem like they register what happened. Like they grab the ref after they're getting picked up, and like, where are we? Like they just really just don't know what just happened. That dude that got spinning heel kick
Yeah.
definitely did not know
he was
what
like,
the
which one of y'all kicked me?
You, me, him, I'll kick everybody.
He's not gonna be in Rush Hour 3.
Yeah.
My man is done. My man is done. KO'd.
Damn.
But it was pretty bad.
And also, Figueroa, he lost.
he did too. That was
That's
good.
Peter
a
Young
big
got
win.
him.
So that one,
They
honestly,
went all 5 rounds.
I was at the barbershop just for before this watching that shit.
I think that for me, that's a fight that the winner gets a prize of a title shot, but there was no loser. You feel me?
Yeah, because it was a good fight. They
Davis
both did their thing.
Figueiredo has just been such a savage in this new weight class that I think that you just let him keep going and he'll get there. He'll get another shot. If anything, he'll probably.
He should fight Hezbollah. They're around the
I'm
same.
with it.
They're around the
I'm with
same.
it. I'm with it. I'm with it.
This is with a fucking knee to the face.
Hezbollah got him, bro.
Take that ankle lock.
Yo, shout out Hezbollah. I feel like he shows up every now and then to the UFC events, but I haven't seen him in a little bit.
You know what it is? Ever since,
Now look now.
ever since that little cat, when he freaking looked like he was like hurting that cat.
Yeah.
He was.
They were like,
He
all right,
was.
we gotta
All right, we
put
gotta
him
get rid of this phone.
People
was.
forget that he's like 20 by now. There was a
Yeah,
clip
yeah.
that always
With
pops
Mike
up when
Tyson?
Mike Tyson picks him up
He
like a
thought he was
little
a little
kid. He goes,
kid.
"Ah!" He's like, I'm a grown man. Put me down.
It looked like
I
one.
love seeing him with guns. Have you ever seen
It's so funny, bro.
when he's working some guns? I think it's the craziest. Like, hell
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh man, shout out Hezbollah.
Yeah, for real.
But all right, so do you guys want to see the crazy upset in this one with the newcomer come in and knock out or submit Alexander Pantoja, or do you got Pantoja winning this
I
one?
got Pantoja winning, but it would be nice to see.
People sleep on Pantoja. I don't understand why.
That fight with Urseg?
Steve Urseg, yeah. Steve Carell is what he looked like.
He's a Steve-
I actually fucks with him too. So I was
No,
like,
Steve Urseg, I had him winning.
yeah, me too.
Because he was a sleeper going into this fight. I feel like because listen, I feel like 125, it was Brandon Moreno and Davis Figueiredo for a while, going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And it got to a point where everybody kind of forgot about everybody else in the division. So now that these two are kind of like, we're over here and we're getting to see all these other guys, people are like, who are you again?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Alexander Pantoja has been on a tear
Yeah,
as well.
bro.
And he's a
He's
great
nice, bro.
overall fighter.
Yeah.
But now we're just seeing, these guys that they're like, this is how you know it's gone bad.
He just picked.
They gave him a title shot off of the debut.
Yeah.
That's how you know that they're like, we're running out of names here. We need somebody to kind of fill it and make it crazy. But granted, it's a smart marketing move. It's a big, like, let's get these Asian fans over here and let's get some names on here.
Yeah,
so
man, that's not like when NBA brought Yao Ming over to the fight.
yeah, precisely. You just know that there's such a big market out
Big
there that why
market,
wouldn't
yeah.
you? It's the same thing we talked about with like
was
UFC
nice,
Africa when
Hell
it came
yeah.
to Francis and whatnot, and him wanting that to like be a bigger lane for people to come in. The UFC building performance institutes in Mexico and France and all these other places to get like more of an influx of fighters from these places. So makes sense.
You know how they've been doing all the event, like the Brazilian one, there's one they did for Mexico.
Yeah, yeah.
Last one, China.
So the fight night was technically that, but it wasn't a big pay per view. But it was
Yeah.
it was in Macau, so that
Right,
was like
right.
most of the fighters
When was
were
the last
Chinese.
one like
I
in
think.
Africa?
It hasn't been.
They should do one there.
Well, that's the thing is that the one that they want to do would
You think
be
Duplessis?
Yeah,
is
Dricus
gonna-
Duplessis.
You think he's gonna be
He
holding it
becomes
down?
the main event there. Like,
Well,
yeah,
He
no,
probably
that-
will be,
No,
bro.
that,
Will be,
that
yeah.
genuinely might be it. So a bigger issue is when it came to like when you do a UFC event anywhere, like even in the States, stadium, infrastructure, highways, hotels, et cetera, et cetera. You look into all that to see how much it makes sense for you to do it in a place. So when you look at somewhere like Africa, they have to look at each individual country that's in Africa and see which one makes
Yeah.
sense. But at the same time, if you have a champion from there, you kind of have to go where the champion's from. So if he's from South Africa, you just eliminate the majority of it. You just go there and you figure out where in South Africa can we have this event. That was probably the first place.
Johannesburg.
If I had to
and
guess,
they just have like
probably.
a huge card of like freaking bunch of Nigerians.
You think they'll do?
If I had to
You
guess,
think
yeah,
they'll do a fight in Russia?
No.
Yeah, I don't think
That'd
so.
be
Near,
dope, though.
nearby. Maybe.
That
right,
would be
we-
top
right.
tier UFC
So
fighting.
the Russians, they get Abu Dhabi. That's where you see them.
Oh,
That's where you
okay.
see the
Yeah.
Russians pull up heavy is Abu Dhabi. That's the closest you'll see that will go like over there and they'll have like people, but like for the most part,
Well,
I don't
what
think
if that's a way like to stop the smoke? Like, all right, guys, look,
UFC just
we're
breaks,
gonna bring
breaks
UFC.
I always
bread.
felt
We're gonna
like
stop the war
just like
because
the
it's
Olympics.
By the
UFC.
way, the Russians were banned from the latest Olympics.
No, I know. That's
No,
why I
not
said
the
that we're not
Olympics,
really allowed in the country anyway, so I don't know how we
Yeah,
can get over
exactly.
that. But yeah, we'll figure it out. That's why I say that we'll get close by, but I don't know about
I
getting
always
in.
felt like wars in general,
Yeah,
conflicts, should be just handled like that.
Well, if you think
Yeah.
A
about
good
it,
UFC fight.
yeah. Bring
Bring best of your, bring
Yeah.
your best.
Well,
Bring
your
our
be-
best.
exactly.
We don't have to all die.
exactly. We'll save the bloodshed,
Exactly.
bro.
I'm going to ask you two questions, and it's the same answer. Who's a very big fan of the UFC and who just recently got elected to be the new president of the United States?
Well, we know.
I'm asking you the question.
Trumpo.
And who's going to be at those events?
Yeah.
Big Trumpo.
Trumpo.
That's
So
what I'm saying. We
you
can help
invite,
stop
you
the
know what I
war.
mean? Putin, come in. We have a sit down, watch a couple
Imagine
fights.
like Trump there, Putin there, and it's
Break
just
bread over
Russia
some violence.
versus American fighters. And
Literally.
it's
I'll be
just like
savage,
Rocky
bro. That's what I'm
This is
saying.
some Rocky smoke
Yeah.
right there.
Exactly,
The whole
bro.
card of just
Exactly.
like
If he dies,
America
he
versus
dies.
Russia.
Yep.
And then whoever wins, like, all right, fine, we'll stop freaking beefing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. Just bring your best out. We got hitters.
What's up with it? All right, and now to wrap up this UFC 310 card, I just have like a comment that I want to make on this. So we just went through the main card. Again, I'm just gonna do a quick little brief read through. So Nate Landwehr versus Cho Duho. We got Bryce Mitchell versus Kron Gracie. Cyril Gahn versus Alexander Volkov. Shavkat Rakhmonov versus Ian Machado Gary. And the main event, Alexander Pantoja versus Kai Asakura. Now,
Damn, bro, you used to be studying these names. You don't want to take no shots.
I'm gonna just go and read.
Pronunciation's on
Now,
point.
now here's
On
my
point.
thing. Here's my thing with this one, right? Now, I don't know if you guys looked into the prelims and the early prelims, but this card is stacked.
Yeah.
Normally, I normally be on this podcast. We just talk about the main card, but I'm gonna just read off the names of the prelims. You tell me. I feel like a couple of these you could swap out to be on the main card.
Yep.
All right.
Reyes. Okay.
Randy Brown versus Brian Battle. That definitely you could put on the main card. Mosvar Evloev versus Aljamain Sterling. That's a number one contender fight, if you ask me.
Yeah, I'm surprised that one's
Main
on the
card.
prelim,
over
bro.
over Nate
Prelim.
Landwehr.
Yeah, I'm
Aljo's
so.
look good too since going to
I know.
140.
How did he drop down to 9?
Makes no sense to me, bro. Vicente Luque versus Themba Gorimbo. That's somebody who can be on what's it called? The UFC Africa card because he's a big like rep. And then also what's it called? Vicente Luque was supposed to fight Nick Diaz on this one, but then Nick Diaz had to pull out. And then I know. Well, that wasn't him. That wasn't him. There's no way that was him. Dominic Reyes versus Anthony Smith. Like I don't know, man. By the way, Dominic Reyes versus Anthony Smith. Retirement fight.
Yeah, one of them has to retire.
You think so?
Smith
Yeah.
is going to retire,
Anthony
bro. Reyes
Smith,
is going to take
I
that.
agree with that. I think
Reyes is going to take that.
I think Reyes takes that. Smith finally retires. Like,
Yeah. He's
I like Anthony Smith. Nothing against him, but I think
He's
it's
got
fine.
the
I think it's fine.
commentator
Alex
gig.
Smith
He's got the
yeah.
UFC gig. He's
good,
good. Reyes, on the other hand, needs something
Yeah.
to walk away with. Like, no, that spinning
Reyes be
elbow
doing a lot of
that Yuri
commentating,
did
though.
to him.
Alex
I didn't
Smith-
think he was coming back. I'm gonna be honest with you. After he was laying flat on the canvas face first, I was
That
like,
shit
yeah.
was lethal.
man is done, bro.
out, bro.
Alex Smith is mulatto? Or what is
You know what? You tell me.
he looks like
Is that-
I know what is it?
I know.
Yeah, I don't
Wait, is
even know.
mulatto a term still?
Oh, am I not allowed to say that one?
I don't know.
Leave it anyway. Melvin, mark it.
Got it.
Got it. And then just one thing also I just want to bring up that I think is just kind of like showing like where we're at on this one is Chris Weidman is fighting on the early prelims. I think it's also about time that Chris Weidman you get your win, bud, and just wrap it up, bro. You've been doing the commentating stuff for a while now. You're
He's
good.
been there since the first UFC game I had.
Yeah.
It's about that time. It's about that time. And yeah, I think there's a couple of fighters on this one that I think it's about that time you wrap that up. You know, I don't know, man.
Wrap it up.
Yeah.
You need to wrap it up, box. Yeah, there you go. Wrap it up.
All right, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Other than that, man, I feel like we've kind of covered a lot of topics. Some of the stuff that I just want to go over. We already talked about Tyson versus losing against Jake Paul. Hopefully, Jake Paul just goes up against somebody that's like around his age next time. You know,
Connor.
Andre
It could be
Ward.
Connor.
Connor.
It could be Connor.
Give him an actual
I just
boxer,
want to
bro.
see. Yeah, I want to see him against a boxer.
Give
man.
him Tank, bro.
Oh, man.
Well, there's been a
He's
couple.
too popping though.
Yeah. What's this other dude? This
Andre
undefeated
Ward.
dude. Is that his name?
No, I'm
No.
saying like another. He's kind of old. He hasn't fought in a while, but I
That'd
know.
be a good one.
No. There's this
Andre
undefeated
Ward
boxer
would be a
that-
good
that-
one.
Go
that,
for
that
it.
called him out.
A lot of boxers, if the paycheck clears, they'll go for it. Because you want to talk about money fights, like those are the ones that go for the money fights. They know how to get paid.
It's
So
just like, come on, man. Like last
get
time he
paid.
fought a boxer, he lost to Tommy. Was it Tommy
Fury.
Fury?
Tommy Fury, yeah.
It's like,
Yeah,
come on, fight a boxer. If you
No,
go,
you're
you
right.
want to be the best boxer. You want to be. Stop fighting other people.
I just think it needs to be this. We all wanted. We all kind of figured it was going to happen, but I think they need to get a couple of more like legitimate wins, and then eventually we'll see Jake Paul versus Logan Paul.
Yeah, why
That-
hasn't that happened
Well,
yet?
that's
Wasn't they beefing
Brother,
for a
that
little
was.
bit?
brother.
I think that was supposed to be the buildup, and then somewhere
And
along the
Logan
middle,
Paul
they
went to
kind of went away.
to WWE and it's fucking.
Because Tyson was gonna back out of the fight, and then that's why Logan Paul's like, "Oh, I'll step in."
That would have been great. That would have been great. And I guess last thing to end this episode on is always Shi Ming. Shout out to Shi Ming who fought on this most recent fight night. She has
Yo.
been my new mythical fighter on lock. Now I want you guys to just do a quick little look
That was
into
crazy,
Shi Ming.
bro.
Shi
knockout.
Ming is a doctor from
Yeah.
China whose
Yeah.
parents have no idea that she's been a MMA
Yeah,
fighter
right.
for quite some time. And she sent some shorty to the hospital in a stretcher. In the fight night, she goes, everybody on this card just thinks I'm small. I have no testosterone. I have bad eyesight. I'm the champion of this. And I love her so much. Shout out Shi
Her
Ming.
little, like cute little smile.
She's so adorable and
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
murdering. I saw a video that
It's like fighting Sherlock Holmes. You know?
I saw a video earlier that put it perfectly. She's a doctor and she's an MMA fighter. She's gonna knock you out and take care of you the
Yeah,
next day
exactly.
after. You're gonna wake up from
Call
your
a doctor. I got this.
I got this. You're gonna wake up from your KO and it's gonna be her again and be like, you went left when you should have went right. That's your problem. It's so bad.
Not you again. She wakes up from her fucking
Yeah.
coma.
Somebody call somebody else.
Like, no, not you.
Not you. But yeah, thank you everybody for tuning in for another episode of Uneducated
yes.
MMA. Before we head out of here, shout outs as always, as we do on all the other shows. So shout out to 806 The Show. Shout out to
Yeah.
Vibe Entertainment.
It's a
Shout
vibe.
out to Nerd Gods. Let's see.
Nerd.
Who else can I think of? Let's see. Shout out to my mom. Shout out to everybody. It's Thanksgiving, by the way. I know this
Yeah.
episode's going to come out past, but thank you to all of you for tuning in. Thank you for everybody for just checking in on us. Thank you for Melvin for being on the producer desk.
Yes,
Even though
sir.
this man does a show
Drop mic.
every other week or every week, technically.
Yeah,
Thank you
all
for
day,
helping us
bro.
out. Any
Working,
shout outs you
working.
guys have?
Anyone wants to take that Thanksgiving walk before we eat? Let me know. I'll be out there.
Facts.
Shouts out to this Justin Vision, Good Looks Juan, holding it down.
Always.
Oh, shout out.
This one girl. No, every time he's like, why you say this again?
Shout out, Shorty.
Shout out Shorty.
Shout out, Young Soldier Success Group.
Yeah.
Shout out Gem Body Alchemist.
Okay.
Shout out Koki. Shout out P2P. Check out that episode he pulled up last time to show us some
100%.
love and talk that MMA talk. Shout out Koki.
Shout out Matty for pulling up. Let's
Shout
get
out
it.
Maddie for pulling
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
Yo, second episode and definitely not going to be the last one. Like I told you, man. Anytime you're like, yo, have you
Always
seen this
welcome.
card? Just be like, yo, can I come on? And be like, yes.
Like, this is
Yes.
down,
this is a
bro.
good card. I want to
100%,
be
yes.
on this shit.
Always down to talk MMA. And to anybody that's out there, again, if you want to talk to MMA talk, reach out to any one of us. And just let us know, man. We really don't need you to have a background, just the fact that you like to watch the sport.
Yeah.
But as always, thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you for another episode of Uneducated MMA. We love you and we are out. Peace.
Yeah.